Looks like we're going in for some randomizer shenanigans straight from the get-go. So we're going to start off pretty much how we ended the grand final last time round, except instead of it being specific stages we're calling out, we are going to be clicking the good old random button. So all stages will be up for grabs at the drop of the random button. So let's see what randomizer is going to give us. It could just be boring and give us the starter stages or one of the 2 counter picks. It could give us one of my favorite stages, which is between Sky Arena and Name Redacted, or it could give us Cinema or Snake Park, which, let's face it, to be fair, Snake Park was pretty hyped last time around. We had a very interesting strategy in there where the Beyblade was actually used to jump over the rush, which I hadn't actually seen executed before. Like, I've seen people try to do it, but it's not really worked, and it worked beautifully last time, so we'll see. We are going to start on Ribbon Ring. So that's a nice little switch up. And our wonderful little matchup here, Yam on the left is the Lollipop, and Coil is who we're going to focus on here. Slacks is Coil, nice red Coil to boot as well. Roaster and Ram for Slacks. Meanwhile, the Lollipop is coming in with a Sparky and a Scorpio, so one playing some of the more curved and unguided shenanigans. Obviously, Coil gets a third arm in there and gets the grab onto Yam and immediately starts hovering up. Coil has that ability, the second she's in the air, she'll just float, just like hover down. She really maintains that kind of air. Meanwhile, Lola does have some airtime herself, can just inflate and just bounce up. She can also waddle away with it too. Gets a good spark charge and gets the grab as a result. Sparky doesn't have the longest shock time, so it's really the case of the second it happens, you go for the grab and hope that it gets there in time. So the closer you are, the more effective it will be. Slacks is going to initiate the rush first, hits him with 285, taking Yam down and fires in with not 1 but 2 charged up Rams, and that just caught Lola napping. Went for the grab, baited Slacks out, who jumped straight into a rush, gets left with a poison, and is going to get caught by the Scorpio, I think. And it's going to take the first point onto the side of Yam. Obviously, remember, these are best of 3s in each of the matches, with the sets also going best of 3s. Yam looks like they're going to stick with their loadout. Slacks, meanwhile, mixing up a little bit. Nope, just decides to switch the arms around onto different sides. So it is going to come in with that Ram and the Roaster again. To be fair, the Ram was working. The Roaster just needs a little bit more guidance. Just managed to pip out the Scorpio this time. Hits with the Ram, not charged though, but damage is damage. Slacks will be the first one to have a rush available to them. Yam still halfway away as Ribbon Ring starts to ascend with the boxes. They get cleared up pretty quickly, but you let them lie on too long, and not only can your opponent gain the height advantage, they can also just not see you with just how many boxes there are. Slacks does connect with the rush. Nicely done there. Yam almost down to half health, but then again Slacks is taking quite a beating as well. Just about got away with that. Took an initial hit, but managed to get a Shakram hit, I think, just onto Yam's side, and denies them the rush and follows up with a quick 1-2 punch of their own, and the Roaster connects. Big time damage for Slacks. That was exactly what they needed. Just a punch or two, or a grab. Yep, there's the grab. A grab will most certainly do. That's a KO. Slacks will start the next point with rush already available as we tie up this point 1 apiece. The hype all around as we focus on Yam's perspective this time around. Slacks went straight in for the grab. Yam just about got an arm up to stop it. Hits with the Sparky uncharged though. Scorpio gets shrugged off, but not this time round. Slacks' rush will not connect. Misses with the grab as well, so it gives Yam a chance to come straight back into this. Scorpio not going to nibble on anything this time around. Obviously, you see when Coil has shielded for a long enough time that she does go invisible just for a moment. Boxes came up right in front of Lola, but that's not going to bother them in the state of a rush. Sparky's still a little too high though. That bounce was just firing off the arm just a little too high. Just sailed over Coil's head. There's that little perma box there. If you hit it, it doesn't go straight through, and that's a nice grab from Slacks. Picked Yam just at the right time, has rush again, Let's see if they can time it just a little better this time. They do. The Ram Ram hit beautifully this time around. Caught Lola by surprise. And Slacks has a slight health lead, but now they're both into critical, and this could go either way. Yam isn't quite at rush, so they'll have to do this the hard way. A punch each way, or a grab each way, will KO at this point. Ram Ram is blocked. Roaster connects! Slacks was far enough away that they moved away from the grab, committed to the roaster. Lola had no chance of evading that, and that is gonna be Slacks' lead, and Coil... Coil laughs in delight as Slacks takes the initial lead. We will remove Ribbon Ring from the list if they both want to commit to the randomizer, because we have learned from a few months back where if we just left the stages on for randomizer, we would get the same stage over and over and over again. Here's looking at you, Snake Park, 5 times in a row. So we're not doing that again. So the way this is going to work is if we do the randomizer button and we do it for the entire set, we minus the stage that we just played on, because otherwise that's just dumb. So randomizer is back on minus Ribbon Ring. Slacks has already declared there will be no switch from his side of things, so he will stick with the Coil. So it depends on if Yam would like to stick with the Lola, or they're going to switch up their plans just that little bit more as well. We are going to find out. To be fair, both fought pretty damn well, and Coil did a good, made a good decision to stick with their guns there. And as we see, the character switch does not happen, and the stage this time is Ninja College. And I joked about this appearing last time out, but it didn't. Now it has. And Coil, well, this is a stage that very much favors Coil's ability, because Coil starts at the highest point and is just going to get so much hang time off of it. You have no idea. Went for the grab, arm goes down instead, but Yam was just a little too far back to take advantage of it. So no punish this time round, but is already coming out with a slightly better setup this time. Connecting squarely with the bolt. Meanwhile, Slacks having a little bit more of a difficulty than I thought they would. Does manage to catch Yam on the bounce down, which is quite unfortunate. I thought Yam was going to evade the whole of it, but landed square on Slacks' Ram Ram and took the rest of the damage. Slacks, meanwhile, unfortunately too close, and he's going to get KO'd via the Tri-Blast Sparky Rush combination. And just like in the previous point, Yam will take the initiative and is thinking of going for some windy slaps by the looks of it. Are we going to see some slaps? We are going to see some slaps. Not from Slacks first. Slacks committing to the Tri-Blast and the Ram Ram. But yeah, Yam coming in with our windiest of slaps. And I'm going to stick with a Tri-Blast of their own. Slacks is getting peppered here. Doesn't really seem to have an answer for it, and Lowe's going to bounce away, but got stuck. Got completely stuck on that little ledge, on that little pillar, and couldn't move anywhere else, so ended up taking, I think, 170 in the end. But Slacks is still looking at quite a bit of a deficit here. Just keeps getting tagged by the Bolt. The Bolt very much countering Coil's playstyle. Not too close for that grab, but is going to get caught by a slap again. Just a KO, just a rush away from being KO'd here, and that is going to do it. And just like that, Yam has turned that set on its head and is going to tie the setup one apiece. Yeah, Slacks didn't really have an answer for that one. The Tri-Bolts, sorry, the Tri-Blasts, basically both of them, they're very effective against a character who likes to maneuver around like Coil does. But yeah, like, it's just one of those things where a stage like that, Coil does like those kind of stages because the ability allows her to float around, but at the same time, Lola brought in the blasts and also the slaps was just, yeah, there you go. And also Lola could kind of negate that by just bouncing on her own accord, but you saw Yam making some mistakes as well there. I say mistakes, just unfortunate timings where they went for the bounce, and unfortunately they missed the first part of the rush and then just landed on the second part. It's like, aw, that's unfortunate. But yeah, there we go. As we move on to our third match of the set. Yep, this best of 3 is going the distance, so whoever wins this is through to the winners semi-final. And we are going, and the randomizer is going, okay, let's calm things down now. Let's go to a starter stage. We're going to Mausoleum. And it looks like both are going to bring in a version of the Ram. Yam is going to bring in his Shack Ram. Slacks immediately going for a grab. Yam wasn't really able to punish it though this time. Focused on moving out of the way rather than retaliating. The Shack Ram is going to hit this time round. Also bringing out a revolver, which is very convenient little weapon. Fires the 3 bolts, but in a little in a 1-2-3 setup. So not fully horizontal, not fully vertical. Just hoping that one of them will connect. But at the same time, it can be punched through by the Roaster and the double rams that are coming their way. Yam has the health lead. Slacks is going to commit to the rush, but it's not going to happen. And instead, well, Yam got the better of it. And a good stun with the Shack Ram sends Slacks into critical. And just looking for one more punch. The revolver did punch through, but isn't going to make it this time round. Shack Ram just about avoided from Slacks. He knows that one more punch will take him down. There's a score with a Roaster, but a Shack Ram to the face. And it's going to stop any potential comeback from happening. And it means that the set point is going to be for Yam here, unless Slacks can turn it around. What is Slacks thinking here? Oh, you are not going to go doubles, are you? You are going to go doubles, my friend. Double Tri-Blast. Well, we've seen some interesting things happen here. And Slacks is going to start off with another quick, cheeky little grab. Yam sticking with the Shack Ram and the roast, not the Roaster, the Sparky. Jeez, does that look red? Come on. And that is 240 from the rush. And look at this. You thought 3 bolts were going to be bad. Try 9 bolts coming at you. So that is going to just completely... Look at... Lola just can't move into a position with 9 bolts coming your way, and it's just being stopped. I think that's a perfect. Is that a perfect for Slacks? That is a perfect for Slacks! Who knew that all Coil needed were 9 bolts of explosive goodness? And Yam is gonna come out with a 2 revolver. Bolts for days in this final match, and Yam not going to get caught out this time around. Slacks thought that they could go for some pressure, but it's punishment all the way this time, and Yam is coming out with the quick firing arms and is going to score a rush of their own. Sends Slacks almost into critical already. And this is not great for Slacks here. Needs to find a way through this, because this revolver spam is just, it's completely suffocating them. So quickly that changed. Yam doesn't score perfect, so not the complete revenge, but they'll take it. 2 points to 1. And a perfect from Slacks just can't secure the win for them, but still an amazing performance from both of these participants. Always a joy to see, and Slacks, let's face it, I don't think Yam was expecting the double Tri-Blast. And you saw how suffocated Lola felt in that entire match when that happened. It was just like, it was charged bolt after charged bolt. And obviously because Coil's ability means that once she's charged up, one of her arms at randoms gain a second arm of that arm. If you're running 2 blasts, you're running 3 permanently, essentially. So that was hilarious. That was amazing, and hey, it worked, so there you go. So it does mean that Yam will move forward into the semi-finals in the top bracket. Slacks will have to fight down in the underground bracket. They are not going to be alone down there, because Yoshi has been defeated by Penzo. That set went 2 points to 0, which is unfortunate. So that is what will happen. So Yoshi will be in the underground brackets. They will face off against the loser of Iceman versus Yam. Slacks, meanwhile, will be on the other side of that underground bracket, and they will go up against the loser of Riffa versus Penzo. And I do believe we are now joined by the roast. Oh,
You've been
didn't
secretly invaded.
You couldn't. You could have let me finish my intro for you.
No! I'm an interrupting cow. Let me interrupt you.
No.
Fine.
And we are.
Why?
No, don't you dare.
I'm sorry, that one was not intentional.
Oh, I've missed you.
I'm quality.
High quality.
It's my pleasure, Tamashi.
Hey, yeah. It's so good to see you. What did you think of that match?
My thoughts on that match? I think Paul's decided that he wants to start winning, and he's really starting to make a good case for it too, as his Dr. Coil is starting to get, like, we haven't seen too much of it. I know he's had this coil from time to time, but he's really starting to warm up with it. And we're seeing some really good stuff. That perfect was exquisite.
Yeah, I've never seen Lola just so suffocated in a match like that. It's just like, you want to move? Okay.
One thing that I do want to note out, at least, if Paul's listening and he's interested in a little bit of feedback, Tri-Blast can be a really difficult arm to play around, but it doesn't react very well to vertical changes. So if you're able to start finding a good tempo of going up and down, Tri-Blast, you can just safely dodge a lot of Tri-Blast pokes and attacks without many issues. It's all just about getting into that tempo, and that's honestly one of the hardest things for a lot of Dr. Coil mains or players to get into the habit of, is that constant move shifting of up and down, and it's why you see it's something you see in a lot of the top Dr. Coils, Astro in North America being a good example, is that he's constantly dancing between those two levels just so that he's always just barely out of the range of most attacks, and why gloves generally fall into being one of the best counters for Coil.
Also, I now get to have a drink of water. I need it.
Yay!
Yay!
I've got myself a nice cup of tea, and I have some folded laundry beside me.
Good. I have a flask of nice cold water that will stay that way for a while. And I have some waffles straight from Deutschland.
Ooh, nice.
Because my roommates from the Airbnb decided to bring some for everyone, so it's like, nom. It's nice to have the real deal. Like, the ones in the UK are like, oh yeah, these are the kind of waffles that you would get over there, and it's like, it's mostly caramel, guys. You're not doing it right. So it's like, this is more like it. Nom. So tasty. So.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
But we got something good coming up too. We've got Rifa facing off against Penzo right now in the semifinals. Rifa continuing to just kind of be an indomitable force. Is going to be settling in at that first seed. Penzo having... Go ahead.
No, go on. You continue. You were still going.
Penzo comes in every once in a while. It's always a treat. We always see a lot of really exciting things. It's going to be a really big challenge to see if Penzo can find a way to counter out Rifa, though. Definitely one of the players who can do it, though. I can definitely see a world where Penzo takes Rifa out. Is this going to be the world right here? I'm hesitant to think so, but yeah, no better way to find out than by diving straight in with Mausoleum.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the stage where we left off in the previous set.
It makes life easier.
Yeah. And also, this is what to expect from the Scrapstar. Sometimes we'll have just straight up, no one knows what we'll have, and then the very next set we'll be like, alright, normal shenanigans issue.
I mean, granted, it's a lot more diverse than the NA scene, where it's usually Mausoleum, Spire Ring, or Temple Grounds.
Well, we already changed that completely with set 1, then haven't we?
You guys at least have... there's a little more flavor going on here. It's just a pinch more flavor.
And speaking of flavor, we got ourselves a Guardian coming out.
We got a Guardian, we got a Coolering, we got a Scully, we got Parabola. A lot of very solid arms, but very unconventional tools. All in this field right now.
I love the EU scene. Because it's always stuff like this on a regular basis. It's like we haven't seen the Guardian in ages.
It's so rare. And just like I do love the NA scene. It's amazing. It's really good, and there's a lot of talented players. But usually it's like a high tier arm mixed in with maybe a sub tier arm. Like you look at me and I've got Whammer or Funchuck, and then it's like, oh, what's the other arm she's got equipped? Oh, Tri-Blast. Oh, Nade. Oh, look, high tier arm. Oh, high tier arm. Just you look at Gillyboat, he's got the homie, which again, very unconventional. But then you also line it up with the Popper, which is like one of the best arms in the game. And you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. And then here you got Coolerain, Parabola, Scully, and a Clapback. It's like, where's the high tier arm in here? Where's our top performance weapon? You're all playing with lesser items.
Wait, did you say Clapback and not Guardian?
I probably did.
Yeah.
I probably did.
Well, it's a very close match. Of that, there's no doubt. Riffa gonna commit to the rush. This will be a KO. No, it won't.
Oh gods.
And Renzo jumps straight over. Oh, commits to the rush, but no, not gonna have it. Should have held on to that, Penzo. I could see what they were going for, but yeah, Riffa was very prepared for that. But I think
that was an excellent roll up and jump over that Guardian too. If only Penzo was able to find something out of that, it definitely would have been theirs.
Yeah, that's just sometimes that's the way it goes. Riffa is going to swap that Scully for a Phoenix, which is a little bit better.
And Penzo putting the Parabola away for a Hydra finally gets a chance to get that Dragon Arm. That's something big that we didn't see at all in the last, what was that, 99 seconds?
Yeah, that went the full distance.
Penzo did not get a single Dragon Arm, and we're diving right into this one. Penzo already at advantage, and look at this damage that they're getting off of that Dragon Arm Coolering.
Yeah, but they're gonna fall victim to yet another rush from Riffa. 335 just juggled in the air.
Penzo now back having to try to find a chance to get that Dragon Arm. Guardian gonna be a little too slow, gives Penzo that time they're looking for, but the Guardian gonna snipe them down in the air. Quick little baps and pokes here and there.
Yeah, the Guardian may be slow, but boy, it makes up for it in intimidation. I honestly thought Riffa got the poke there, but managed to stop it anyway, and it's gonna get the KO. No, it doesn't get the KO. I thought it was just about in range. But the Guardian saves it anyway.
He's gonna munch away at the last of Penzo's health, and with that, takes a very safe second round and the first set.
There's always something about the Guardian where it just comes out and you see it coming, and it's like, you know it's coming, and it just creeps on you. And then the second you let your shield down, it's in your face.
It's a pretty divisive arm. Like, there's two states for the Guardian. It's either completely, overwhelmingly, like, preventing you from doing anything at all in this game, or you're literally just bullying the Guardian and it does nothing in the entire matchup. It's either just a nightmare to deal with, or it's a joke. Yeah. And it just depends on so many things. Riffa was able to bring out an excellent time, though. Penzo really struggled to have good answers to be able to combat against it.
Yeah.
And with that,
and
Iceman
in the chat just mentioning, where's Junior, one of the best Guardians? Would you agree?
Yeah, that'd be nice to see Junior. I mean, if he doesn't feel like showing up, power to him. He can go. He's got a busy life. He can go do his things.
I was on about what if you thought Junior was one of the best Guardians.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely one of the best Guardians. Like by and far. That said, he still won't use Guardian against me.
And
but I'm also the kind of person who literally has a loadout that like hard counters it. I've told you about the Funchuck and the Guardian before, right?
Oh yeah. Yes, you have.
I've probably talked about it way too many times at this point. So let's dive into this match where Penzo switched over to Kid Cobra, going in Bub Blusher.
So both participants with a poisonous arm, and Penzo very brave to try and go for a punch and all of that. I know the Gusher bounces, but that's not hitting that rush anytime soon. Penzo coming out with one of their own, but Riffa, it's going to jump into it. 135 at the very least.
Well, what Penzo was trying to do there with the Glusher is, while the rush is active, Scully becomes medium, Phoenix becomes heavy. So, technically speaking, if the Glusher is rolling out the Scully, then it's not doing anything. And it might box out with the Phoenix, which means the Bub should be able to safely get in and punish Riffa, or at least give Penzo more space to play.
Penzo coming on with a bit of a comeback here, and Riffa surely won't allow that, and there it is.
Nope.
But starting to get a little bit more cagey there. I think Riffa realised they needed to score something, otherwise that was going to get away from them.
And out comes the Guardian Scully loadout again. Penzo definitely has a better loadout for playing around it now, but it can still just be a huge menace, especially with how safe and cautious Riffa tends to play.
Oh, and that was probably what they were looking for in the first point. Jumped straight over, Gusher went down, and Riffa had no rush. So far, not finding anything with the Tri-Bolt either, so it's mostly the Gusher that's doing the work for Penzo at the moment. Both go for the grab, Penzo bounces harmlessly on the floor. It's going to score with a little uncharged poke.
I mean, in this exchange, a lot of the Tri-Bolt's job isn't necessary. It is going to be able to help lead into shots with the Glusher, but a lot of it, what it's wanting to do is just be a safe outboxer to the Scully, as those 3-prong shots are just going to cause a lot of pressure and nullify the Scully in a lot of these exchanges. So as long as he's just going in safe with these pokes, getting some nice coverage with these shots, he's going to be dealing with a lot less danger than what he was working with otherwise. That said, Riffa's still got a few tricks underneath his sleeve.
Yeah, just looking for a rush, if that. Just a couple more pokes will do it. The bolt just sailed past Riffa. I thought that would connect, but not quite. And Penzo commits to the rush, but it's not going to happen. And Riffa, immediately in a better position, scores with the KO and is going to take this set 2-0 and moves into a winner's final. That sly little ninja.
He's not even making a smirk or anything. He's just frowning. He's super serious. He wants his college money so that he can pay for his ninja college.
I mean, we already had it, so he's probably like, I want to go back to my college, please. Alright.
Just chill there for the rest of the days.
Yeah. So, with that, Riffa is through. Penzo will go into the underground bracket. And down there, if I remember correctly, they will go up against the Slacks. Yeah, it'll be Penzo versus Slacks. That'll be an interesting fight.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
But that is not the fight that we are going to be focusing on stream, because next up it is our second semi-final, and it will be between the reigning Scrapstar champion Iceman versus Yam. And we all know how the last match went.
Yeah. And Iceman's just continuing to level up his playing skill. Actually dropped by the COTE that happened yesterday. I got to play a few rounds with him, and he's continued to get scary.
Ooh.
There maybe was a bit of regional lag, almost like we're across like an ocean or something like that. I really don't like Seiki when it's moving twice as fast as it normally is.
Yeah, it's nothing's scarier than a faster missile. Oh no.
I did manage to find the win, just barely. But yeah, no, Iceman's just continuing to improve, and even in those circumstances, like, I'd still say it was a genuinely good match. Iceman handled it well. I handled it well, I guess, because I won. But yeah.
I guess I handled it well because I won. Yep, that's a classic belief statement.
What do you mean? I had 2 sets with them, or matches, and they were both like, well, the first one I ended up confidently taking down, but the second time, the rematch, oh god, it was so close. Dude is a beast.
That's what I like to hear. And guess what? they're continuing from where he left off in the grand finals last week. We're going to Ninja College.
Yep, we're going college.
Please
We're
tell
gonna
me.
do some learning.
Please tell me one of you is coming in with Ninjara for this, just on the basis that we made the joke literally 2 minutes ago.
That would be. It'd have to be the same matching color as Rifa's, just to kind of iterate that it's
Like,
still
oh
that
no, oh
one.
no, Riffer's in both semi-finals. What a twist.
Just to follow up on a conversation, a note that somebody's making in chat. Moving first isn't necessarily the wrong play, especially it depends on how you set things up. There's spacing involved. There's how you're aiming and lining up your shots. Because first off, being the first move, like in this range, Iceman can make the first move. He's completely safe to do whatever he wants. He doesn't have to worry about anything. So he could just start off by throwing like 8 punches. And Yan has to start closing in the distance. And in those 8 punches, Iceman's built more rush than Yan. Yeah, Iceman therefore is more advantaged, arguably. First punch can be punished, but it can also be used to bait your opponent into following up with something else, that which the first arm that you punch might recover in time, and then you gotta go in for a punish, kind of like that interaction that we just had there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm surprised Yam didn't quite get the grab off of that stun, especially with how close they were, but I guess they didn't feel, I guess they were surprised, just as surprised as Iceman was that they actually connected. Yam will have rushed. Iceman won't be too far behind as we come onto this Helix versus Rippengull, and Rippengull bringing in double Funchuck.
But Chucks in general are a scary arm against Helix, so yeah, I'm very likely going in, just looking to try to go in with a hard counter loadout. One of the big difficulties, at least for Rippengirl on this, is the fact that that smaller girth size makes it a lot harder for the double Chuck counter pick to really work out. And that's why we're kind of seeing Yam control this field really well. And even though it is a very effective tool against Helix, Helix still has plenty of options. And when you have Chilla and Coolerang, that just means that you can chain gun down your opponent. And even though they have good defensive tools, your mobility is so strong and your setups are really good. And you're going to be able to take ground still.
Yep, and Helix will lead with that first point. I was going to raise an initial question mark to Iceman's grab, which sailed past Rippengull at one point. But I think they thought that they were probably going to break out the ice a little sooner than expected. Iceman going to stick with the same weaponry. Yam is going to bring in an icicle beam of their own in the form of the dragon. Also going to bring in a Tri-Blast as well while they're at it.
I feel like this is going to... It could work a little bit better, and I'm going to go on the basis that this is definitely going to be Yam's round more likely. And we're already seeing that a little bit as Yam holding a better lead. Dragon, this can not work against Helix, but at the same time, especially for Ribbengirl, who's able to match the height of Helix, is able just to play around with angles and positioning, can make really good and dangerous positions for the Dragon, for the Tri-Blast, just to give their opponent the hardest time and allow for some serious damage.
Iceman's gonna have some serious damage of his own. 355, I think that was, against Yam, who's just stuck in that corner, nowhere to go. And Yam's gonna close the distance a little bit if they want to come out with a rush of their own. Clips with the dragon again. And he's struggling a little bit here. Keeps extending up right into that laser, and a cheeky grab from Yam there. Just looking for one more hit.
I do want to bring up, that is not easy to do against Helixes. With how easy it is for them just to puddle underneath those, you really have to be on point with your timing and get those right reads. Iceman does have the rush ready. It's not going to KO here, but it will deal a heavy amount of damage. Yam just needs one hit to be able to keep this going. Or actually, timeout is potential too.
The bolt will do it anyway.
Tri-Blast.
Yep, Helix bounced right up into that bolt, and obviously kind of at the right height for Rippengull. It's going to be one apiece, and Yam does indeed have a big advantage here. Has the rush fully available. Iceman obviously nowhere near on that charge. And guess what? Iceman's going to bring out a dragon of their own, and ducks up to the initial hit, but will take 210 in the end, and a grab as well. So that easily makes up for the little bit of a miss at that start.
Height advantage definitely giving Yam a huge boost with this patient play. And Yeah, the Triblast is just working like a charm for Yam, along with this Ice Strike. It's just doing a wonderful job comboing together. And Iceman just cannot keep up with this tempo, with this pressure.
Yam's got Rush again already. Is that a KO? That's a perfect.
Yam has a perfect. Yam's just going to run away with this one.
Oh, it doesn't call it a perfect. Of course it doesn't.
It's a feint perfect.
Yeah, there's a poke from the shield, but that's pretty much that. Wow. Instant clapback from Yam there. That was just wonderful. And Yam is going to lead this set by a 1-0. Wow.
Yeah, no, like, arguably the double Funchuck is... you could make the argument double Funchuck's a better loadout against Helix, but in that scenario and case, chances are high Iceman has better matchup experience against Funchucks than Yam does utilizing the Funchucks, and also just Ribbon Girl having really small arms. It means that they're not big enough to do what you see with Kid Cobra or Mechanica or Master Mummy could utilize them for.
Yeah.
So Iceman just, especially with how long the stage was too, like a lot of setups, Iceman was just had all the space he needed to dash back and was out of harm's way. Where being able to go in with something that was just that much better at poking and spacing, especially considering that was how the entire set was. It was positioning, it was spacing, it was getting your pokes and angles in at the right angles just to make sure that Iceman was limited in his movement. And it's that kind of stuff that really made Yam be able to take that set and why they went over to the Triblast and Ice Dragon.
Yeah, it was a good switch in the end. And even though Helix wanted to bring out a dragon of their own, it was they just weren't able to get a moment to really use it at all. As we are gonna go ahead onto our stage switch, and guess what, my friends? The good times just keep on rolling because we are going to Ramen Bowl.
We're gonna see a little bit more of. It's gonna be a little similar to Ninja College, but this time, rather than one side being at the top of the stairs, both of them are at the top of the stairs. It's equal, and there's Mechanica.
Oh well, okay. Bias is out the window now.
Nade, chocolate. Let's go, yes! Oh my god, this is my loadout that I used against Iceman to take him down in Champions of the Era. Yam is going in with basically Iceman's loadout. So if Iceman saw what I did and can replicate it enough, I'm pretty sure this could be a very good set for them.
Well, we'll see, but the Seeky's going to start off with an immediate explosion, setting up Yam for another quick grab, and gets another one!
That Seeky is so hard to play around, and it's really good at punishing aerial movement. But the Chakram Nade, once Iceman starts getting good corner pressure, starts to wall Yam back against that wall, it pretty much just covers so much of Ribbon Girl's movements and options, and can be a devastating setup. Nice dodge, excellent block. Iceman staying nice and healthy in this set.
Yep. No rush damage from that. I haven't really got a proper hit on Yam yet, just a little sliver of damage. There we go, there's the rush, that will connect, and that is 310, finishing off with the nade, which is very important to do.
There's some damage with that rush exchange too. That just meant that Iceman now is able to close in this distance. Seeky struggles a lot more. If nade's boxing, it's generally going to get outboxed even against other nades. So Iceman just in a very happy place right now as he's trying to chase Yam down. Chew out as much damage as possible before Yam gets this rush ready.
Yeah, and you can see just how aggressive Iceman is playing this to Mechanica, just not giving Ribbon a chance to breathe. Finally does fire off with a nade of their own and finally sends Mechanica all the way back. 10 seconds to go. Iceman barely has the lead, but that will all change. That'll be a KO. No, it won't be a KO, but that'll be a timeout
Wrong
victory.
finishing touch.
Yeah, there we go.
Nade. Closing it out.
Yeah, no sooner had I gone, oh, they're both pretty much on similar health. Rush immediately changes that, and Iceman takes the initiative.
I can't get over the fact that Iceman's literally playing my loadout! And is winning. This makes me happy to see.
And...
Oh, nice dodge!
Yep, nice dodge again. Iceman is not going to fall foul of the dangers of that missile, but is going to get caught in the explosion regardless. That's going to be another quick grab for Yam. And again, Iceman immediately going back onto the strategy they did last time round, closing that gap in, being an aggressive nuisance to Rip and Girl, but is kind of being bulked out here by these missiles. They can't take too many more of these, can they?
Oh, we're slowly chipping them down. Oh, a nice catch on Yam's part, just recognizing that Iceman was just kind of pausing and hesitating here and there. Gonna get caught out by that rush, but Yam could potentially KO with this Siki right here if they go for it, but they're gonna go for the grab and not able to close in the distance. Go now, rush! I think Yam just wants to hold on to this rush for the next round, considering how these exchanges are going.
Yeah, Iceman in critical already. Probably one more explosion will likely seal it. That's all Yam's looking for, so basically the rush will be there if all else fails here.
Iceman starting to close in that distance again. 20 seconds left on the clock. There's going to be another rush. And if Yam, that's going to be the conversion that basically means Yam has to make a choice now. Either has to just dodge everything, or that's going to be needed for the block, and ends up dropping the shield. That means Iceman still has a chance with that chakra.
That's a KO. Oh, why did you go and rush there? Oh, they had the shield up, so I just thought they shielded. I'm gonna assume that the rush can't have been it.
Yam was scared.
Yeah.
Yam was terrified. And I don't blame Yam. As literally that loadout and character in that exact scenario and matchup, I can understand why Yam was afraid.
But, well, that fear has unfortunately meant that this set is tied up 1 apiece, so, who gets to face off against Riffer? Will it be the reigning champ, Iceman, or will it be Yam? They need to come back and try and take this set away. And Iceman just not wanted to eat a 480. Let's face it, they are brutal when that happens. And I guess the apprentice has become the master.
Actually, watching that, I actually made a couple of notes. Iceman taught me a few things that I could use for my character.
Ooh, okay, not so master then.
I'm far from a master.
Yeah, sorry. You're a mistress.
Far from that, too. I still have a lot to learn and go through. I need so much. They're just like anybody else. Even the top players are still learning, are still trying to figure out what they need to do, where to go for things, and how to fiddle these riddles. It takes a long time and a lot of practice to be able to get those things lined up.
And the switch is gonna happen, and look who's the mechanic of this time round. It's Yam. And Yam's coming in with some hot slaps.
Oh, the hot slap, the well-cooked Yam coming in. Iceman going in as replicant right now with the Nuka-Lola. This can be a really rough matchup, but there's a lot of high burst damage, and as long as Iceman charges up the rush quickly and effectively and lands those rush interactions, this chip damage would be enough.
Yeah, but Yam is just not flinching at all. Obviously Mechanic's ability doubles in with that, but it's like, oh, I'll take these explosions, I'll hot slap you whilst you're doing so, and they're getting the better off of it as well. And the grab's unfortunately not coming for Iceman.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a little bit more damage. Sees a moment for rush. Is going to end up whipping. And then is now going to get not KO'd, but almost knocked out because of that one simple exchange.
Yeah.
Almost 500 health. And now you can see Yam is again worried because a single hit is enough to close that round.
Yeah. And that's how quickly it can change. You bring a missile to this, if the rush hits, it's going to be bad. Yam is going to commit to the hottest of slaps. And see if they can actually get this going this time around without Iceman gaining momentum. And so far, first 2 slaps are good.
While this looks really unconventional, this is actually a really good loadout in a lot of ways. It's not going to box as well against gloves, but it covers a lot of side movement with those curves, those angles. And it also has the fastest grab in this game. If your problem is your opponent is bringing out the shield only for a few frames, and you can't grab them in time, just bring out the double Mander. You can throw out the blindest grabs, and it will so much more often connect, especially against huge bodies like Lolopop when she's on shield, or Mechanica, or other heavy characters.
Also, Yam, not fearing that 500 damage from that rush this time around, just sat there and went, alright then, my turn, slaps, I'm actually going to wait for you this time round, and that rush KO'd beautifully. And to be fair, as you say, it's like, it can't box against gloves, but it doesn't need to. It really doesn't need to.
In a lot of cases, it really doesn't need to. It just, as long as your movement is on point, it will just work around those gloves, and it will just punish out everything.
Oh my god, Yam has taken out Iceman!
And is going to be moving on to face off against Rifa. Just a last very clean round there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that one again. The reigning Scrapstar champion has been knocked out by the hottest of slaps in quite emphatic fashion. That final point whizzed by. Iceman just unfortunately just kept getting slapped. There was nothing they could do about it. Like, they had an answer to it initially, but it just completely overwhelmed them.
A lot of it was just because Yam just started to warm up, realized what Iceman was trying to do as the Lolopop, and just started making a bunch of calls, and Iceman just wasn't able to make the right responses to be able to counterplay those interactions. And just felt too much pressure. I'm sure Iceman is well aware of how fast those grabs are too, so they were just constantly like, I can't bring out the shield. If I do, I get grabbed. Because Yam literally would just be like, oh, you have shield?
Zoom.
And like, at mid-range, the grab is basically unreactable. Like, I could throw a grab at, like, mid-range from you, like, respecting your space, and I can still throw out the grab, and you won't have time to react to it. You have to be able to, like, predict when it's happening. And Iceman was just trying too hard to predict the grabs, and it let Yam just continue to be like, I'm just going to cover both sides, because the wavy motion of the slaps just worked so well at catching both dashes that you can basically just create little waves that dance around either the left and right of any character. And unless you're like Dr. Coil and you're so fast that you can just fly out of it, most characters are going to get caught, and your only option is to shield there.
Also, can we just acknowledge the fact that Mechanica has won both her sets today?
Hey, that's how it do be.
Well,
it'd be cool if Mechanica won all her sets in Champions of the Era, but there was a mirror match, so that really didn't have the choice
no!
I had to play against Bunny Champ. You want to know how I won?
How?
Hot slaps.
Yeah. Also, Yam obviously paid attention to. So I like that Iceman paid attention to the match against that they had against you, and Yam just paid attention to the matches in general.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Yam, we got ourselves a winners final and our first best of 5 of the night. And Riffa coming in with our wonderful ninja. Coming in with the Scully and that Guardian again, and Yam coming in with a poison of their own and a Sparky. And so far, that Guardian is being a pest. But it doesn't really matter too much because Yam's got something that can curve around that.
It's a little difficult to be able to make it curve around, but when you do, it's a solid option. It's a solid tool. And it allows for some really nice pokes and damage. Oh, nice dodge!
Yeah, Riffa keeping their range just a little bit further back. Both with Rush available. Yam almost in KO range, so Riffa can get into a position, they'll go for it. But at the same time, they might not need to. They have the health lead, so it just depends on if Yam wants to get risky with it. Riffa is going to activate it and pressure Yam all the way into the corner. Scores 260, that's a comfortable health lead. I don't think Yam can do anything about it this time round. That'll be a point for Riffa.
I think what happened there was just Riffa recognized that once Yam jumped into the air like that, Yam's main options were either get hit by Rush or try to counter Rush, which might mean Riffa wins anyways. So Riffa just was like, I'll just throw this Rush so that I can confidently take this round. And Yam chose to hold the Rush, just ate the damage, lost the round as a result of that. But we're going to be seeing Yam come in strong here. Gets 360 damage plus that poison tick on top.
Yeah, that poison tick is always nice to leave behind. Obviously, it can go up to 3, and if it goes up to 3, then your opponent will be cursing at you all day long. And probably themselves for letting it get that high.
Oh god, it just... You just stop being... It's not as bad as being frozen at least, but it's still really bad.
The River's having a bit more of a harder time here. Already down into critical, and Yam pretty much at full health here.
Just going in with the hard mean reactions, but what did you expect to happen when Yam switched from like a low tier arm to a high tier arm? Tri-Blast just gonna do what it do!
And River started to go on the comeback, and Yam surely is not going to allow that to play out. Wants to hold on to Rush for the next point, and obviously River has one of their own. The Bolt will finally take the Ninja down. Yeah, with a character that likes to move around as much as Ninjara does, yeah, the horizontal bolts, they'd be good for that. And River's going to try and apply some heat in the form of our wonderful friendly Phoenix. Gonna keep that Scully though for that quick fire and shootout. Just on the hopes that they can make it to Lola before the Scorpion makes it to him. And so far with both wanting to be a little bit patient here, both wanting to wait on when they want to fling out their respective rushes. Obviously we know that River generally likes to go on the counter every now and then. Likes to try and teleport to the side and then unleash theirs in response, but so far River does have the health lead. Not by much, and Yam is going to be the first one to flick, and River does exactly what I thought they would do. Waited for Yam to go for it, immediately side teleported, and went in with the rush. Very much exactly what River is very much known for doing, and sends Yam to critical, looking for just a tap or two to take the initiative in this best of 5. Yam gets hit, but just barely survives, and the quick thinking Scully will make sure that River leads this by 1 point to 0. You okay back there?
What? I'm just drinking tea.
Okay.
I didn't have anything to add to it, so I just figured we could have like a moment. Sometimes it's good to not have noise. It's important to be able to enjoy quiet.
No, that's fine. I totally understand that. It was just like, I just saw like paused, and then there was a few seconds, and I was like, did she disconnect?
I was crying into my mug of tea about how beautiful that match was, and the last match, and the match before that.
Are you trying to do an abridged version of your own series?
Am I?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the one talking to the cup of tea.
I just like tea!
To be fair, same.
Tea is not legally only a British thing. Everybody's allowed to like tea.
I never said anyone wasn't allowed to like tea.
How dare you? How dare you try to take my tea away?
Please, I think.
What are you gonna do next? Dump it all into a river or something?
Oh my god, don't you dare. Let's not even go down that route. See, I was going to say, no, I'm not even going to go down that route either.
Let's just look at this, the two Monchi arms on the field, the Lockjaw and the Guardian.
Yeah, very interesting that we see both of these on the field at the same time. One's
Fun fact, if you were looking for a couple of things to be like, what's similar between these two arms, they look very different. Obviously, the main one is they're both considered heavyweight arms. But there's also an extra comparison between these two. Both of them, when charged, have a mouth that starts making chompy movements. Both of them are Monchi arms, and they will bite you.
Yeah, equipping them both at the same time is, well, yeah, no. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Oh, caught with the revolver. Just about able to get away with no punish on that. Yeah, there must have been the Phoenix rebounding off the Guardian, because I don't see what could have caused that over the other way. Oh no, wait, Riffer's got a Phoenix. No, ignore me. Well, Yam's having a bit of a harder time with this. Did manage to get a shock down of their own. It's actually forced Riffer into the corner, and both now into critical. Try to go for the grab to seal it, but not going to happen this time round. And now Riffer has a chance to try and seal this for themselves. Can anything hit from either side? The answer seems to be no at the moment. Rush is coming in. Oh, Riffer! Oh, that was unfortunate for Yam. Riffer just waited and waited, and oh, that'll sting. That will sting. Also, did I just see that right? Did the Scorpion just go underneath the Guardian and nibble Riffer's ankle?
Yeah. What happened there was the Guardian, as Riffer was in the air and the Guardian was still being deployed, it had to come down for a few moments, which they're just hurt boxes and hitboxes mathematics. Enough space for the Scully or the Scorpion to slip underneath the Guardian, just continue on its way to nibble out on Riffer's face.
Yeah, unfortunate Ninja gets bit by a Scorpion. And it's going to get bit by a whole lot more in a moment because Riffer is in KO range. And that sends them into critical. Yam with a much bigger health lead. And despite being put into the corner here, they've got time, but they need to not get too impatient, otherwise they're going to give Riffer a second point. And now is in KO range themselves, and Riffer has fought right back into this. And that's a shock, but they're not close enough to punish, unfortunately. The shock time on the revolver is very, very small. Oh, Yam, you have got to be so careful here. You cannot afford to get poked by much more. With 20 seconds to go, and they know it. They got to poke with the revolver, but it wasn't enough to KO, but the second shot does. And that's going to be one apiece. I was really starting to fret for Yam there. I thought that Riffer was just a punch away from just shutting all of that down.
Oh, okay, Yam's gonna go back to the Lockjaw revolver. I was kind of hoping that they were gonna stick with that loadout because it was kind of working out really well. That said, this can definitely still get some good damage, some light lead, and it was really close round to the last time. So now that Yam's facing up against the Scully, maybe here's hope that it works out a bit better. Or Rippa could just get an excellently aimed grab, just covers Yam's shoulder and is not capable of getting punished at all.
Yeah. And obviously Viadol's is one of the more awkward stages with all these wonderful tips and turns, and Ninja is not going to get away from that. It's going to get caught by the rush, falls to the wayside, and Yam bounces away. This'll be a hard hit, though. They would bounce this a little too high, but finally got knocked down a little too quick, so Riffa couldn't get the full amount of that rush. So both pretty much on even level here.
Yeah, neither one holding too much of a lead. Both of them trying to play very safely, very respectfully, not really wanting to get too close and personal, as the Guardian can just be really scary, but so can the Lockjaw. Both have really good options for just diving out of corners.
Oh, Riffa in critical. Yam with a rush could get a KO if they time this right. They can't allow Riffa to get a rush of their own though, because they can turn this fight on their head if they do. Riffa is a punch up 2 away. Yam has health lead. 7 seconds to go. Would a rush seal this for Riffa here? No, I don't think it will, and I think Riffa knows that. Hits with the grab. Yam hits the floor on 0, and that is going to be a point to Yam. And Viandals isn't really a stage that favours Lola despite it being her own stage, but she's going to win on it regardless. One apiece.
If you can make it, well, it's not a good stage for Lola, but that argument also has to go into with the consideration of the fact that generally it's a bad stage for Lola when she's getting pressured. If she has open neutral, open space to breathe and move around, the stage is large enough that you can generally move as and where you want as needed. It's only when you're really cornered down that you lose most of your options. And since Riffa was also playing very safely and defensively, we got to see a lot more of what the Adulch is like in a defensive match, which you do not get to see that very often, but it is a very interesting thing with so many new little mechanics going around. More often than not, you get to actually see people trying to punch around through those corners, which, unlike a lot of stages where those barriers are just straight up walls, the barriers here actually can get punched through and your attacks will just keep charging forth.
And we are going into match number 3 of a potential 5. As we are going to see Yam with that Lola again, Riffa with the Ninja again. Still coming in with that Guardian and the Scully. And Yam going to bring in a Popper with this Gusher. So we're going to have a bouncy arm and a pretty quick arm.
Starting things off, both players about even. Popper not necessarily finding too many chances to poke. That said, it's doing a very solid job of just being an outboxer for that Scully. As long as Yam's just throwing out those poppers, charged or uncharged, it's generally going to be able to keep up, if not just power through the Scullys. Gives Yam a couple of nice opportunities, which means that it's more the Glusher just trying to work around that Guardian.
Both with Rush available and both on a kind of similar health. You feel like if both land with their own respective rushes, it would still just pretty much be a square fight. Popper does finally manage to get through and almost hits Ninja, but Riffa gets the rush up just in the nick of time. Yam bounces high and scores with 145, but inadvertently pushes Riffa to the side and can't juggle any further than that.
That was an excellent setup, but then Yam just with an exceptional evade on top of that.
And they've actually got such a health lead that with 15 seconds to go, I don't think that worried about anything that Riffa will throw here. I'm weak on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side even, but with 5 seconds to go, this is very much Yam's point. Nothing Riffa could do now can take it away from that. And there you have it. But yeah, that was an exceptional bounce from Yam to get away from that. Set up for the rush. Yes, sure, it punched Riffa all the way to the side so they couldn't follow up from 145, but they still came off significantly better than Riffa did. And Yam, despite that, is going to drop the Gusher for a Coolerang. And, well, and that's probably the reason why they did that. And look at this, big damage, 330, and wow, that couldn't have gone better for Yam.
Just a really well lined up shot, just so much damage off of that. And because of it, Yam's kind of holding on to a lot of control and a very confident lead. If they're able to just keep this tempo up, that's going to be a 2-1 advantage, which means that Yam would just be looking for that one final win to be able to move over to Grand Finals.
Against Riffa of all people, what would be happening here if Yam could just automatically qualify for Grands? Well, that prospect could very much be upon us. Riffa does have Rush, so they can get themselves back into this match from here if they wish. Doesn't quite get the grab and gets caught with another Popper, thankfully not charged. And now Yam with Rush available as well, and they know that Riffa is in KO range here. Gets another poke with the pop, sends Riffa into critical and another direct hit. There was a sound effect in my ears, I wasn't sure what that was.
There's a follow.
Oh. Yay, follows. Oh, the Rang does hit. Oh my goodness me! Now how about that for a KO? That is unbelievable. Riffa went for the rush. Lola managed to dodge it. I thought they initially whiffed their rush as well. But yeah, with the pixel perfect juggle, hits. Riffa almost hits the ground and gets caught with a Popper at the last second. That was impressive. And Yam is going to lead the set 2-1. Have you ever seen that?
I've probably seen similarities to that, but not that specifically.
Oh boy, that was a new one for me.
This game still has like interactions that a lot of us just really do not have full grasp or understanding of. Like it's exciting how like it's still surprising to this day how things are changing. You know, like even to this point where it's like everything's still pretty by the book. Like we all know like all the information. We've got a solid enough data on. While we don't fully keep track of the frame data all the time, and a lot of stuff is inconsistent, especially because it's online. But like we understand how all these interactions work out, and then somehow it's just like, oh, never mind. There's also this thing, I guess.
Also, you know how you mentioned clapback right at the start of the set? Well, here's the clapback
No, I
now.
said Guardian. Definitely said Guardian. I would never say clapback accidentally. I'm a professional.
Yep. I believe you.
Yes, you do. And we've got that clapback on the field now. Yam does have a couple of nice arms for playing around it, though. While the tribal can be a little scary if it gets reflected back, that Mander just going to be an effective tool at reaching around, especially if Yam is able to predict where it's going to get set up, and just slam around the corner, and it'll just safely reach. Otherwise, it's still going to get hit by that clapback.
Yeah, so
Ripper
Yam
could
just...
technically go for a win confirm of his own off of the arm.
That would be outright insanity if that happened. That would just... There's no way Riffer is going to be bold enough to pull that off, but then again, this is Riffer, so you never know. But it's going to get caught out with a hit of their own. Riffer is going to be in KO range here, 30 seconds to go. Yeah, has the health lead. And both of those arms on Riffer not looking too healthy here.
Well, it's a very potential opportunity for a shield break if Yam just finds that right opportunity.
Said that, 15 seconds to go, gets another poke. The pressure is on Riffer here, but Yam is also in KO range from a rush potential. They need to be very, very careful here. They could probably take the grab, and that's probably what they were baiting out from Riffer. 2 seconds, 1 second, it's not enough time.
Oh.
Yam bounces away. They knew what they were doing there. Well played.
Just excellent call at the end, just recognizing exactly what was going on, what was needed. And now we're going to see the Parabola step in. I'm actually going to, just before this starts, I'm going to make the prediction this one's going to go to Rippa.
Yeah,
Parabola really cannot keep up with that clapback sometimes. And it just means that in a lot of cases, it's just kind of chasing Yam instead.
Yeah, it's also a lot slower as well. The second that opens up, it's just a slow moving projectile, and Ninja's not the type of character who's going to really fall foul to that kind of thing. So we'll see how this ends up playing out, but definitely a very weird choice to see the slam coming back. Just get a poke with the bolt, but nothing more than that. You just see the umbrella immediately come straight back towards Lola.
Oh, I know what was going on. Yam was trying to counterplay the Scully. The Parabola would have been an excellent counter against the Scully, but Rippa just wanted to stick to his guns. Yam trying to go for the counter pick, and in fact is just going to situate themselves to be the one who's getting countered right now.
Oh, does break the arm on the shield, and oh, the Phoenix!
The Phoenix says no!
Oh, that would have got Yam back into this match, but the Phoenix absolutely denying that. And despite the fact that Riffer doesn't really have a rush to play with here, they don't really need it. The clapback's doing all the work for them.
17 seconds left on the clock. Both players going to likely be ready with a rush. I'm not expecting any damage to go onto Rippa, or any that will lead into a lead, at least for Yam. This round's already determined.
Yeah.
Rippa going to be able to hold things out, and he's going to get the KO too, just get some icing on the cake.
Just for styling. Alright, so Riffa needs to win this to keep this set alive. Yam needs to win this to secure a place in the grand final, and what a way to do it. Does stick with the Parabella, but it's gonna come in with a slap this time round, so gets a grab on Riffa. And Riffa says, okay, your turn. And note that the Scully is now out, so part of this has worked, and obviously the slap should get around the clapback, so really, it just depends on how patient Riffa wants to play this. Bearing in mind they don't have a Phoenix this time round. Another little poke with the Scully will leave its poisonous sting onto Yam. Just gonna slap around, but it's still very even Stevens. Neither player wanted to blink with their rush just yet. Grab just about curving around into Yam there. It's a little unfortunate. And again, keeps the health relatively level. 40 seconds to go. Neither of them wanted to use their rush. They're gonna leave it till the last second. If I know these two. Both just keeping that middle position. Both waited for An opening, a little mistake, another poke with the Brawler does connect. Scully just whizzes past Yam as we enter 20 seconds to go. Yam with the slightest of health lead. Arm weak on the left-hand side, does fade away. Yam commits to the rush. Oh, and Riffa jumped straight into it, trying to counter their own. And the slap will mean that Yam beats not just the reigning champ, but also Riffa in the process in back-to-back sets. And Yam is in grand final by default. Well,
I mean, I'm not sure how default. It was pretty hard fought to be able to take that.
No, that's not what I meant by default, but yes. Like,
Oh,
that was hard.
you mean,
That was hard, because normally we see Yam go to grand final via the underground bracket. It has happened on the above side before, but we more commonly see Yam go through the underground bracket. So to see him go in straight there is awesome.
This is very good. This is a very good. Many congrats to Yam.
And it means that Riffa will be fighting in the underground final. Boy howdy, that is going to be spicy. Speaking of the underground bracket, we should probably report to you that Iceman defeated Yoshi 2-0, and Slacks unfortunately lost to Penzo, but again, it was a close set, 2-1, so that's always good to hear. Slacks really going at it today. Like, he's been on a charge these past few weeks, and you know, he's doing some really close sets with a lot of people, so and it showed. I mean, you saw how the match with Yam went with Slacks earlier, so Slacks doing the goods. And it looks like we have Iceman in. Does that mean that Iceman beat Penzo? Or does that mean...
We're going to be streaming that one.
Oh, we are streaming the underground semi. Okie dokie. Yes, we are.
And it's going to be at Buster Beach.
Oh, they've already decided. Oh. Okay, then let's get this set up for you all. Yeah, please don't charge into Viadol, I need to switch this first, so...
That's basically Buster Beach. Same difference. You look at both of them, you can't tell the difference.
Slacks in before Slacks comes into chat and goes, every stage is Snake Park.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Is that so?
You could make the argument every stage has a little bit of Snake Park in it, and you can, if you really want to go the whole route, you could use that little element and just blow it up and focus exclusively on that. Bam! It's Snake Park now.
I just like the fact it's like, yeah, there's a bit of Snake Park in everything, and then someone in the back is just like decides to draw the trampoline of Mausoleum and changes the trampoline to just a giant Beyblade. So it's like you break the platform. It's a giant spinner.
I was thinking of the other way where it's like everyone's got a little bit of Snake Park in them, and then just someone in the far back is like, "Oh no, get it off me!"
I love you all. Right, our last best of 3 match of the tournament as we go to underground semis. It is Penzo versus Iceman. Iceman coming in with Min Min, Sparky and Ice Dragon, and Penzo is just juggling this poor Min Min with this popper, and also coming in for Electro as well. And yeah, let's see what the size comparison says as we come in with a Master Money.
So far, it's working out exceptionally well. Having a heavy arm and that light arm for just coverage on top makes it really difficult for Iceman to get those pokes when there's that mid-close range. But once Iceman's able to create a little bit of room on this stage, as we already saw with those couple of interactions, immediately turns on its dime, and Iceman just starts having a lot more control, is able to make so many better calls.
Also, I do like the fact that even when the range does start coming into play, you just saw Penzo was just like, I'm just a heal, quick 30 health. And juggling time ahoy, 370 and Iceman's in critical. One poke will do it. Oh, okay, maybe another poke that's not the projectile.
Yeah, and literally anything will kill now.
There it is.
Like that.
Min Min goes down to the Mummy. I just love the fact that it's like, just in the middle of that, Min Min's like, alright, I got the range now, and Mummy goes, let me heal real quick.
I like my health. I like my shields.
And Penzo, this is what it looks like from Minman's perspective. You just see the Master Mummy, it's like, yeah, this thing's scary. It's got a massive lockjaw as well. This ain't helping.
Yeah, no, this is a really good pressure loadout for Penzo. It doesn't have the fastest grab either, but as long as Penzo's like at point blank range, pretty much everything Iceman does is just going to be on negative against whatever Penzo wants to throw out.
Does manage
because of how much pressure he's able to exhibit.
Yeah. Did manage to get the knockdown, the shield arm, the arm down even on the lockjaw. It was just basically like, well, Penzo, you could try and block something, but it's not gonna happen. Having said that, Iceman is, well, a couple hits away. Oh, dearie me, is that a Sparky? An Iceman.
And out comes the pressure. Iceman looking to take this, just trying to scare him with this Dragon Arm, with this Rush ready.
Oh,
and
boy.
You know Iceman wants to hold on to this, so they're doing everything they can to keep it active and just get this damage.
Oh, no! Oh, no! I'm gonna do a massive comeback. No. Slam dunked, thank you, ma'am. And Penzo is gonna lead that by the skin of his teeth, I'll say that right now, and leads the set by a 1-0.
I had a feeling this was going to be a hype match. I am not disappointed.
Oh my word, that was just... If anyone was going to do a comeback, it was Iceman. It was just going. It was like that momentum was there. The confidence to not go for the rush. And then Penzo was like, I'm going to end your entire career with one grab.
I've got a bit of a spoiler for you. Both of them could have technically taken the round much earlier if they chose to use rush. Penzo had a win confirm off of that popper. He did not get the timing to follow up on. And then his rush got punished by Iceman. And then if Iceman just had the rush ready to try to counteract it in that occasion, and just was like, all right, you're weakened enough, let's just close this out so I have a whole nother round to work with.
But instead...
Then they could have just threw out the rush, and that would have been a 1-1, and we could have kept going. But both players ended up just... Those small interactions worked out enough for Penzo, even though he whiffed that first opportunity.
Yeah.
He still got another chance, and he had his whole health bar to work with.
Yeah.
So you might as well just wait it out, and eventually you'll land that grab.
Yeah. That's exactly what you were calling back to earlier, where it was just like, if they're close enough and they go for the grab, chances are it'll hit, because, yeah. And Penzo will stick with the Mummy. Iceman's going to switch to switch to Whip and Go. Got the shock, but unfortunately didn't quite get the grab. That's a little bit.
Drives me mad.
Can we just say it's like, okay, so you've got the Sparky, which has the shortest time on the shock component, and then you couple it with the Seeky, which has the longest flipping time for the shock. So it's like. But to be fair, this has already infuriated the Mummy because every single one of these is landed and Mummy is just not getting a chance. Although having said that, here's another slam dunk.
And there's another popper damage. If Penzo gets a good rush opportunity, he's not going to have that rush opportunity as he doesn't get the deflect timing down, and the Sparky just going to deny him of everything. No yellow Dorito for him. And now he has to wait things out.
Oh, that's not happening.
You really have to be on top. Mechanica, I wouldn't say it's necessarily as important because she has enough speed to be able to work around. For Master Mummy to be able to play around Seeky, you really have to be able to use your perfect shield dashes to be able to evade those attacks. Because Master Mummy kind of can't dodge as efficiently and get out of the way of those Seekies. So it just, in a lot of cases, it will just chase him down.
Squash the popper at least. It's like, Mummy trying to jump over things, it's still also just hilarious. It's like, you can't jump that far, but credits for trying, but hey, it works sometimes, and that was an unfortunate explosion stun.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Master Mummy still has a pretty solid jump. It's better than a lot of the characters in this game still.
How did that grab not connect? That must have bounced off the steps, surely.
Oh no, Penzo was able just to dash to the side just barely enough. He was just barely out of range because he was dashing back and to the right, and Iceman went for his left. which meant that Penzo was just barely out of range.
Ah, that would explain that. Iceman, you don't want to be there as Ribbon Girl. That's backed into the corner. And there's the rush, and that is going to be a pretty decent juggle. 315. Iceman does have a rush of their own, and they're going to commit to it, and that is going to be a KO. Yes, it is. 385. Yep, we've said it once, and we'll say it 1,000 times if needs be. If the missile gets 2 hits on you and you're past the halfway mark, there's a good chance you're going to get KO'd.
Could be Siki, could be Homie, it could be a nade. You're still going to lose a lot of damage, health, and you're probably going to die.
And Iceman will tie up this set and keeps their title defense alive for the time being. Penzo was just looking for that one more win, but it's just going to avoid them for the time being. And we're going to have a third match in this, and it's all to play for here.
Granted, this does mean that Penzo has the freedom to choose the best stage for himself, which means that Iceman's going to have to be playing wherever Penzo wants us to go. Arguably, just based on those general interactions, this means that Penzo should be advantaged.
Well, we will see. And it's going to be DNA Lab that we're going to go to. So now it comes down to, will there be character switches? Iceman is immediately locked in, so that's probably no switch for Iceman. That'll be a Ribbon Girl again. Penzo is coming. Penzo coming in with Helix on Helix's stage. And note that Iceman has decided to drop the Sparky.
Nate is a better pick for this. Nate's generally a lot more consistent. I'd actually go as far as to say Nate's better against heavies than Sparky is. But I'm also my opinions on Sparky are very harsh, so... I will not deny that.
Oh, we know. Oh no, Iceman!
And you know Gilly has very harsh opinions on the Siki, and that's... We'll just look at that as one of the main examples as to why Gilly doesn't really like the Siki.
Oh, Iceman used the charged up Seek, directly hit the tube in front of them, blew up the tube, and blew up themselves. Penzo went, thank you very much, that's a free grab for me.
It was literally worst case scenario too, because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that like the last health of the pillar too?
Yeah, it was.
It blew himself up, and then Penzo's just like, okay, I guess I got grab.
Oh, that was unfortunate. It happens to the best of us. It honestly does. I think
it does.
And Iceman is going to be feeling the heat now as they get pushed back into the corner. Rush did not connect because Penzo blocked the entirety of it. And now they're just holding on to their rush and seeing if they want to play around with it in their own way. It's just probably happy just hitting these punches. Iceman in critical and Penzo... Nope, see, you didn't need to. You didn't need to do that. You've just given Iceman a chance to win this point. Gets caught with the Hydra, and the other one follows up, and Penzo makes up for it. Boy, that could have gone horribly wrong.
Fortunately for Penzo, that is not the case.
Iceman gonna drop the Siki. I wonder why. And is gonna bring in the Tri-Blast. And to be fair, the Tri-Blast, I would say a much better pick to go up against the Helix with. It's like, Helix can be stretchy, but they're still going to get hit by one of these horizontal bars. And so far, it's a little bit more in Iceman's favour. It's going to fall foul to a little bit of a toasting. Penzo with Rush available. We'll see what they can do with this. Gets another solid charged hit. Just looking for a moment where Ribbon Girl isn't dashing, isn't going to go for that double dash. Let's see if they can get a nice timed rush here. So far, just dipping and diving all over the place. Commits to the rush, but Ribbon Girl is going to safely block the rest of that. This Penzo is aware enough that Iceman tries to go in with their own counter. Oh!
And a safe evade. Penzo, utilizing his drift effectively, gets that mini boost right when he needs it, and is going to be able to safely block out the rush. Yes. I tried really hard to get a double dash joke in there.
Yeah.
It was way too late. Way too late.
Both in critical condition with 20 seconds to go. Penzo is probably a punch away from going down. This is very, very nervous. Just got away with the bolt. Oh my word, this is
now ready
the
with Rush. Mercy will go in for it, and Iceman's gonna come out on top. Brings the score to 1-1.
Yep, it brings it to 1-1. Now, crucially here for Penzo, they have the full rush right from the get-go. Iceman will have to charge it from the beginning. What will Penzo do? Penzo will bring out a popper.
It's a great confirm tool, and especially if you're confident you're going to be able to get more rushes than your opponent, it's really good because you can just get the confirm, get some damage, and just start things off strong.
So far, not quite hitting. The grab was very much called out. Penzo gets another little poke, sends Iceman into the corner. Remember, this is the underground bracket, so whoever loses is out. Grab misses, rush doesn't hit!
God. Iceman just keeps stealing these rushes away from Penzo. We have seen nothing but stolen rush after stolen rush.
Penzo with another couple pokes, but Iceman keeps getting vital ones of their own. Now they do have the rush available and will commit to it and will hit with it. 340. Penzo almost into critical. Iceman not past 50 yet and now is in crit. This is going to be quite the comeback for Penzo to do from here on, and it's not over yet. But now it is.
It is over.
Yep, the explosion connects. And that will end that, and that was just back and forth, but Iceman with those pivotal moments, stopping the rushes so many times, and fights back to keep their title defense alive. They will knock Penzo out at this point. Penzo will finish in 4th, just outside the top 3. And Iceman will move forward into a match that,
This is a rivalry.
Yep. Yes, it is. It's Riffa versus Penzo. Not Penzo. It is Riffa versus Iceman. And it's not in the grand final. It's in the underground final.
Whoever gets this is going to get their shot at being able to take Yam down and claim the brackets. So this is, both are going to be going all out on this one.
Oh, yeah.
And before we do dive into that, I want to remind everybody that this is a weekly event. At this time, every week, we do have the Scrapstar Series EU, and next time it's going to be the 50th one. If you want to be a part of that, there's a link right there in chat. Just follow it up. If you're a part of the NA and thus unable to participate in the EU bracket, don't fret. There are also links. Just follow through the Battlefy account, and you'll find links to the NA Scrapstar coming up later today, or for the NA Scrapstar even next week.
Yeah, I can't promote the 50th one enough. It's the big 5-0. It's worth celebrating over. So if you can get anyone in there, it will be a lot of fun. Of that there is no doubt. So yeah, the more they turn up, the more matches we get to have, and the more shenanigans that we get to commentate on, for better or for worse.
For more numbers means more hype, more fun, and as it generally works, the more people generally go towards and support something, the more that it's just gonna build from there. A lot of how this stuff works is snowball effects. You get support from one end, and that just draws other people in, and then those people will draw other people in, and it just keeps continuing to climb. So if you want to see the Scrapstar series continue to grow and thrive, that is near. Then be sure to sign up for next week.
It'll be a lot of fun of that, there's no doubt. And meanwhile, I'll tell you what's not fun. A ninja mirror match.
We've got Riffa facing off against Apper right now. As Iceman has chosen to go in with a reverse Riffa loadout, Tribal and Fire Dragon in hand.
Who are you? I'm you, but a different element.
I'm you, but what if we swap the arms to the different arm that's like the arm?
Oh dear me. Well, for those of you who are confused, Riffa has the Ice Dragon, Iceman does not have the Ice Dragon.
Iceman has the dragon that shoots the red laser beam.
It's red versus blue.
And also red versus green.
Yeah.
There's a lot of alternating colors going on here.
Yes, there is.
We've also got Iceman just barely holding out on a lead right now. A rush from either end could easily lead into the KO, and you know both are just looking for the other to make the call, make the play, so that the other side can go for the punish.
Oh wow. Okay, so both. Oh dear me. Oh no. Oh, there we go. You knew what I was about to say, and Iceman was very quick to go, yeah, let's not do that, please. I do not want to have a double KO. I will hate that.
Dragon gonna... While the Fire Dragon isn't going to be able to lead into Ice Confirms, if you're not getting any confirms on that kind of regard, it is a little bit faster, just slightly, than the Ice Dragon, and it also just has a consistent 130 damage on charged hit, which means that if you're just getting charged trades and that's it, Fire Dragon's gonna perform a little bit better.
Yeah. And so far, Riffa has the slight health advantage on this time round. He's still gonna fall foul to a couple pokes, and Iceman gonna commit, but he's gonna miss all of that, I'm afraid. We're trying to get a quick little slight poke, but it doesn't happen this time round. So Iceman will have to charge up all over again, and will Riffa's hit? Yes, it will. 210 gives them a comfortable health lead here. Poke with the bolts. If we start to approach the 35-second mark, Riffa is going to finally dip under the 50% health. It's I still love the fact that it is just essentially a bolt and dragon fight.
I mean, it's a very exciting bolt dragon fight. There's a lot of things that go into these exchanges. And while these two arms are very similar, there's so much that plays differently between the two. The Tri-Blast and Tri-Bolt, just beyond like base elements alone, both kind of have their own slightly different rules. That's going to be a nice rush. It's not going to be able to work. Riffa patiently just waiting things out, and with that is going to be able to take a round, bringing the score to 1-1.
It's like, just casually dodges to the side and then goes, alright, Dragon can KO, and even if it doesn't, you're still not hitting me to go past you. So, one apiece, all tubes down, the bolts will find their mark. Now the flinch inform their loadout, which is nice to see. And to be fair, they're very much evenly matched here.
They're pretty balanced out in what they're doing. While Riffa's definitely on top with the ninja movement, plays, and pressure, Iceman's just playing with a little bit safer, a little bit quicker arms, which just that gives Iceman that little bit of space that he needs to be able to try to keep up a bit better with Riffa.
So far, Riffa is going to dip under 50%, but Iceman is not too far away from it. Oh, then no sooner have I said that, does dip down past 50%. And so far, Riffa is getting a bit more consistent here with their dragon pokes.
But the Tri-Bolt's still getting a couple of good pokes in of its own, as we see Riffa drop into critical. And once again, we are now in rush KO range for both sides. Either party looking to be able to find just that final confirm, that final window. The Dragon gonna knock Riffa on Magic Pixel. He has no health left. Will likely have to use the rush as he deflects, or an evade just like that one.
Just about gets away with it, but now they've got to commit to their own. Iceman is now in trouble. Both could KO here. Riffa goes for the rush, but isn't going to hit it. And just about gets away from Iceman. Iceman can hold on to the lead and gets the KO. Was that a self-destruct?
That was a self-destruct.
Oh no. And
that charge Tri-Blast just left the ground just a little too late. And with that charge chip, an implosion resulting in Riffa's demise.
God, that was so close. That could have easily gone either way. Something tells me we're going to be in for a very long set here.
This might be going for a while.
This is to make up for the 2 weeks of missed underground finals.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna break even with this.
All right, Temple Grounds is the name of the stage for match number 2, and Yeah, they're both gonna stick.
Both players just sticking with these tools. And Iceman gonna come out on top, landing that Charged Dragon, getting 130 damage, starting off with a light lead as a result. One of the big things about Fire Dragon that kind of works out a bit better in these exchanges too is the fact that whenever that fire damage connects, it also takes away a little bit of the opponent's rush, which means that whenever Iceman gets a Charged Dragon snipe, it just takes that little bit longer for Rifa to be able to charge up and get rush ready to go in for a counter place. Gets a nice freeze. Rifa trying to go in for a little bit of extra damage, gets the nice 130. Another freeze, and Iceman quickly dipping into critical. Rifa just trying to play things smart. He's going to be able to safely dodge out of the way. And with that, Rifa going to be able to take the round, see himself up a 1-point advantage. Rifa going to be able to land the freeze, not going to be able to follow up off of that as the knockdown does occur. Just holding, has that rush ready still too, but Iceman not too far beyond. These freezes are allowing for a little bit more chain damage though, and it's starting to work. Rifa slowly starting to warm up more in this matchup, getting a lot more comfortable in what his options are and what he wants to do to try to play around these tools. Iceman does, of course, still have a trick or two underneath his sleeve, and as long as he can try to find a way out of this corner, can definitely turn this around. Rifa just continuing to go for safe pokes. Iceman going for a lot more jumps here. I'm figuring Rifa is trying to find a way to capitalize on all of these short hops. Out comes the rush, and Rifa gonna safely punish it. Just looking for the right moment. 350 damage, and that's gonna bring the score to 1-1. Rifa setting himself up with a balanced score, and we're going to be heading straight back to DNA Lab. I'm figuring we're going to be kind of chilling with the same matches for a little bit. I don't think double Tri-Blast would actually work out too well. Leaning too hard into that kind of loadout would mean that the dragon or the ice dragon, regardless of which side goes it, would actually become a lot more prominent and a much more dangerous option. As just a single Dragon Bolt would be strong enough to be able to power through any and all of those Tri-Blasts and Tri-Bolts. Starting things off, Rifa going to be able to start off with a nice little lead. Starting off, getting that bit of tempo. And we're going to finally see some light damage on one of those pillars. Each one has about 3 health to them. So they can take quite a beating, and there's also a little bit of an invulnerability between each hit. So you can, if you want to punch it down, it does take about 5 to 6 seconds. And it can also leave yourself nice and vulnerable for your opponent to be able to go in for the punish. But as long as they're standing, they are a great option to be able to block off those attacks. Give yourself room to breathe whenever those punish attempts are trying to come in. Rifa just continuing to utilize the stage's defensive opportunities. Really has so much more confidence and comfort in these exchanges now, as he's barely taken any hits. And is just looking for a simple confirm to be able to take Iceman down. A grab, charged Tri-Blast would be enough. I think actually a charged Dragon would be, or uncharged Dragon would be good too. I think it's only an uncharged Tri-Blast that won't KO. But we're gonna see the Dragon Beam reach its target. Rifa able to take another round with over 50% of his health still remaining. Diving into this next bout, both players ready with rush. Rifa definitely just very comfortable with the neutral exchanges now, and is not really too worried about feeling the need to throw that rush out, just keeping up this tempo, keeping this pace, and looking to try to force Iceman to throw out a rush of his own and going for that counterplay. But I think Iceman's starting to warm up on the matchup as well, and is aware that throwing out rushes general, unless they get the tribal confirmed, it's going to be a very risky play to throw that rush out blindly. Both players about even. We do have most of the pillars taken down by now. Only one pillar actually remains. I think it's only on like its last 1 or 2 hits before that one's even gone. Which means that Rifa's going to have a lot less space, a lot less room to be able to hide and dance behind these. Iceman's starting to make some good work with that space. Rifa still... Actually, both players now in positions where Rush KO could definitely happen. Rifa just finds a way to line up his shots, get the right read. But it is not easy to be able to find that opportunity amidst all of these dragons and bolts. If he finds a chance where the dragon just whiffs hard enough, he could arguably chase Iceman down and get the connection. But you have to be at least mid to close range to be able to have that happen. Doesn't really need that either. So right now just looking for one final hit to take Iceman down, and a few seconds left on the clock means he can just time things out as needed. Oh, takes some heavy damage from the dragon, but that dragon alone is not going to be enough. And now Rifa 2-1 advantage, looking for one more win to be able to advance to the grand finals, so he can so he can take another shot at resuming his championship title.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Do apologise for that, just some things just happened. And we are going straight into match 4 by the sounds of it. Some very intense matches there. Well done, Malieve.
No, you.
What? I did nothing.
No, you were doing lots of stuff. Just not directly related to this. Alright, heading into this though. We do have both players, again, sticking with these loadouts. From what it sounds like, Iceman... You could make the argument that he's trying to counterpick Rifa in some way, but from what it sounds like, he's just doing this because it sounded amusing, and now he's just like, nah, this is cool, let's keep doing it.
I mean, what better way to beat Rifa than with his own game, I guess.
You just grab the name, flip it upside down, and then you try to play that.
And both with rush available, Iceman maintaining a bit more of a health lead this time round. It's like, after so long, you start to get into a groove.
Nice
counterplay
there!
That was nicely done from Iceman. Committed to the rush, realised that Rifa was going for the counter, and then countered the counter. It was really nice.
I think that was a deliberate bait, especially with the fact that he only threw 1 or 2. He was fully aware of the fact that there's a high chance that rush wasn't going to connect. Threw out the 1 or 2 just to be like, in case it does connect, then I get it. But it didn't, so he just threw out those couple, then immediately moved into responding. And with that, he's going to be able to take this round and has rush ready.
Iceman determined to take this to match number 5, does not want to give up their title here and now. Both with rush available, let's see if Rifa plays it out just a little bit better this time round. Is going to get caught by the dragon just before Iceman takes him to hiding. Getting caught with another poke down. So far it's...
This is working a lot better for Iceman all of a sudden. Rifa had it really down pat that last one, but now all of a sudden Iceman just utilizing DNA Lab to his expertise.
As I was trying to say in the previous point, the more you play against someone and the same arms and the same style, the more you start to learn what they want to do and where they're going to go. And it's now starting to turn the other way back around though. Rifa is finally starting to get a little bit more control in this match. But Iceman's not letting up either.
If Iceman just went for the confirm off that tribal, like as soon as it connected, just gunned it out, it would have worked out great. You can just do that though. 285 is definitely a beautiful number to take. And Iceman looking for one single hit here.
One hit to take this to match 5. And Rifa is just holding on for dear life. Gets another successful hit with the bolt. Now, This is where a double KO could very potentially happen if both hit each other here. No! Not this time. Iceman barely gets out the way in time. And guess what, my friends? It's match number 5. And straight back to DNA. Iceman, don't you dare go away. Get back in here. Bloody hell, this is turning out to be one heck of a match here. So, match number 5. Both gonna pretty much keep with the same thing. Same arms, same characters, same shenanigans. This is going to prove to be an amazing finish to this underground final. Remember that Yam does await in the grand final. It's either going to be Riffa going in there to make sure a new champion will be crowned, or Iceman will win and keep their title defense alive. Riffa barely has the health lead, but it is still early days. As the lasers trickle around, we lose yet another tube. Really hope you like DNA Labs. This is literally the Snake Park. This is the Snake Park event of a few months back where we get nothing but one stage, and this time it's DNA. Just a little too far out of range for the dragon this time round. Iceman gonna dip and dive once again. Caught by the Ash Dragon this time, and baits Riffa straight onto the left and scores with the dragon on their rush. And evens out this just a little bit, but Riffa still with rush of their own. Iceman with the tiniest of health leads, but it very quickly evaporates just by one mere poke of the charged up dragon. They trade hits, but crucially, Riffa's was the charged hit. Sends Iceman into critical. He'll probably try and hold on to rush, or decides to use it anyway, but Iceman is already on the retreat, but can't get a punish off of it. Bold hits at least for Riffa, so maintains the lead with 10 seconds to go. Iceman has a choice to make here. If they want to commit, they'll have to do so very carefully, but they may just hold on to rush. No, they do commit, but Riffa will easily avoid the entire lot and scores a last second 0 Dragon Beam KO. Because
just
of course.
a little cheeky poke.
Yeah.
A little cheeky poke at the end.
It's like Riffa going, you wasted your rush, here's a dragon on 0.
I like what Iceman was trying to go for there. Unfortunately, that rush would have only arguably worked if Riffa was backed into a corner. Because it was such an open field, he had safe options to go either side, and that shield teleport just worked out like a charm to get him nice and healthy.
And Riffa's decided to just completely throw a curveball now. They know that they're a point away from finals. They know they're a point away from dethroning Iceman's title reign here, and decides to bring in a slap.
He's got a really good slap though, but unfortunately it's not doing the slappiness that it usually does in other matchups.
It's starting to get that way now though. 50 seconds to go. Iceman is, well, looking for a good solid hit here to take Riffa down, but now also in KO range to Riffa's rush. Oh, this could go either way here.
Iceman is vulnerable to a charged Tri-Blaster grab. Anything else, he should be able to survive. That's going to be a nice evade for Riffa.
Oh.
Only taking 15 there. I think only a charged dragon or grab could work for Iceman. Oh, now pretty much anything. Real Riffa. Oh, an excellent evade.
Oh, and a great read from Iceman.
We now have a magic pixel.
Oh my god, Riffa is a tap away, but so is Iceman. It goes down to a 1-2 punch. The title reign is over in the blink of an eye. Iceman thought that they had the hit to do it, but Riffa gets one and a second punch lands just in the nick of time. Riffa takes down Iceman, wins the set 3-2. And with that, we are crowning a new champion at the end of this tournament. The reign of Iceman is over.
It wasn't too long of one though, wasn't it? Like he got his one win, and now Riffa's just looking to try to steal his back.
All that stands between Riffa and that is Yam. Alright, Yam, you know what you gotta do. And the
Riffa just he had his chain, didn't show up for one. Iceman took it, and Riffa's just like, alright, You got a belt. Yeah, go on, get. It's time for me to claim my belt back.
But Yam is determined to win this. Yam has done the hard part. He's beaten Riffa already. He beat Iceman he beat Iceman as well. This is when it matters now. And the best part for Yam is here. He's got 2 bites at this. Riffa has got to win this, not just with 1 set, but 2 sets.
But if anyone's gonna do that, Riffa's definitely a contender for it. As he's been known to literally just sweep people before, especially when he is going all in on his play. And considering the Ninjara we saw for the entire thing against Iceman, I would not be surprised if we see that Ninjara stick against Yam.
Oh, there is the Ninjara for Rufus side of thing. Yam going to come in with Min Min. Yam is looking for what? His 3rd title of Scrapstar? Riffa looking for his, well, in the 20s at this point. You get the general idea. Yeah. Well,
he has enough to be the year 20XX, let's just say.
Well, the matches are going to get ourselves underway on Temple Grounds. Yam coming in with not the Parabola. Gonna go for
There's also definitely a much better arm against Ninjara. It does have a bit of a slow startup, but once it is going, it goes quickly. And it's such a good arm at counteracting that Dragon. It's really good against the Tri-Blast. It can just wall out so many of these attacks with just that straightforward wall. But even then, it still has its limits, still has its weaknesses. And a hearty rush to the face is definitely one of those.
Oh yeah, good 300 odd damage there from Riffa. Yam with Rush available of their own now. And obviously with the Parasol, they can choose to juggle Riffa if they want, but they're not going to catch him with that. Does get a sneaky 120, and just about keeps the health relatively level. I'm weak though on that left hand side, so they'll need to be careful. They cannot allow the dragon to lick that side any further. Catches the Phoenix, that'll give it charge to calm down, and also time to get the dragon arm up on the Phoenix.
Dragon Arm is essential for Yam here. As long as they have that Dragon Arm, they have options, they have ways to pressure Riffa and be able to punish, deal that damage, and secure and hold this lead. If Riffa is able to take it down at all, he can just safely poke away at Yam, and it pretty much just means that he'd be able to control the rest of the match. But because that Dragon Arm has been able to sustain, has been able to hold water, we're going to be able to time out with Yam holding over 50% of their health, and Riffa not going to be able to bring things back.
Yeah, not on this occasion, so they'll have to try it again in the second round. Both with Rush available to go, Riffa will stick with the Ice Dragon and the Tri-Blast Jam, naturally sticking with the Phoenix and the Parasol. Quickly gets another little nick in there. Riffa very close, thought about going for the Rush, but also probably tried to bait Yam out as well. Yam jumps straight over, both did sort of like a little bit of a crisscross there. Yam immediately went for it and Riffa went, you know what, I know exactly what you're doing as well, I'm a sidestep too. Comes out the better of the two easily. Yam pretty much at 50%. Riffa not sweating too much this time around. Just gonna take a power salt to the face. Won't want to do that again anytime soon.
No, they're kind of rough to take. Especially when they're charged, when it launches you just halfway across the field, and you just have to play neutral all over again.
Yeah. And they also gave Yam a chance to get that Phoenix charge back up. Granted, Riffa does have Rush and is in control of the situation, but the bigger the bird, the harder it is to avoid.
And he's just gonna snipe his little toes right there, just to show us how powerful that Dragon Arm is.
Again. Oh, and
Oh,
Riffa,
no!
you were too close, and this is going to be a KO, isn't it? Yes, it is, and that is a 2-0, instantly turned around, and just, yeah, big birds, am I right?
I like big birds and I cannot lie.
You other cluckers can't deny.
Oh.
Oh, dearie me. Staying on Temple, says Riffa. So, alright then, Riffa not happy with how that went and wants a redo.
we'll give it another shot here. I feel like actually, arguably speaking, this isn't necessarily a great stage for Rifa, as it's giving Yam the good with those pillars, it means that Yam has a few good opportunities to get that Dragon Arm charged up, and it's not big enough for Rifa to be able to play a safe game. He can actually pretty easily get cornered here. And that's kind of what we saw in the last set, and that's what we're already starting to see here as Yam just chasing Rifa down. Within like a few moments, as long as Yam is able to keep up that pressure, there's no space for Rifa to be able to hide, and he's just locked back against the wall. Phoenix ready to just chew him out.
Yeah.
We do have Rifa finally getting that knockdown though, and he has to keep this momentum, has to keep this tempo, otherwise Yam's just gonna be able to punish it and gets a Dragon Arm as a reward.
Yep. Is almost knocked down, but manages to stay on their feet. Now has a rush available, doesn't quite hit with the parasol, but does get knocked down with the dragon, crucially.
Out comes the rush. It's going to be a safe connection. Parasol whiffing, but should still be just not enough time to get that charge up. Yeah, I'm throwing a few too many attacks. But we are going to finally see another chance for that bird to come out. Rifa ready with rush. Just needs one final punch. There it is. And now he can go in for some kind of confirm. Might just need a charged Tri-Blast or grab to close things out though.
Yep, trying to hold on to rush where possible, has a slight health lead, and that will do it. One punch with the Tri-Blast, and the dragon follows up. And that will finally take the point for Rifa. He definitely had to work with it there. We'll start this point with rush available, but yeah, isn't too far behind. Will there be any change? No, there will not be a change. Rifa's going to come with a slap though.
I think the Mandar's definitely going to help out in these exchanges. That Parasol is just proving to be too troubling for both the Tri-Blast and the Ice Dragon. Now Rifa at least has something to be able to respond.
Oh,
Full connection on that! Rifa trying all as he might to dodge out of the way, but even with Ninjara's movement, Yam was able to keep up and managed to make that Phoenix connect.
yeah, it was a good commitment from Yam to keep going with that. Succeeds with a 310. Rifa is keeping up this pressure though, knows that if they can get a spot, or at least get a good hit with the slap and send them up, they can juggle into a rush, and you know from there it's always big damage. But so far, they're keeping this up, not allowing Yam to get the Dragon Arm back up, and here it comes! No!
Just barely whipping it. Just needed a little bit more time, a little more fall state for Yam, and that would have connected, but because of that, they're still in this. They might not have much health to work with, but they're still in this.
They certainly are. Yam in critical condition, and grab will not KO. Literally 1 HP. The
There it is.
explosion will do it at least. Where in the world did that come from? Did the blast miss or... Oh, there it goes. Yeah, that's how. And with that, that's one apiece. All it took was to throw out a slaps, and yeah, Rifa getting his revenge on Temple ground, so even Stevens. Oh no. Hey, remember how we just had the underground final, where we just had nothing but DNA labs? Yeah, we're now going to do the same thing in the grand finals, except this time it's Temple grounds.
It's a good stage. It can be good. Utilizing the Mander definitely is making this a lot more even, or a lot more advantage for Rifa. The Dragon just couldn't keep up in a lot of cases, and it was just really holding him back. Having a quick curve arm just continues to help him out and play in these exchanges. We're already seeing the fruits of that labor, as he's very effectively going to be able to start in with the chase and just make sure that Yam has not nearly as much space as they would like.
Gotta be a little careful though. You saw that little mini explosion. The Tri-Blast, well, it is an explosive arm. It can and will still self-destruct. Frankly, not to the same scale as like the nades and the missiles, but it's still gonna hurt. Dragon Arm, I think, is up on Yam. That bird is massive, and Rifa is going to fall foul to its pecking order once again.
Another thing that the Mander definitely is going to help with, while the Dragon has a fast grab, Mander's still a little bit faster, which means that when Rifa throws out those grabs, those read attempts, it's going to be a little bit easier to consistently have them connect just like that.
There's going to be a grab on there as well. But just waiting for a good moment. I think Yam is just about in KO range if they want to go for it, but no, Riffa, they'll probably try and hold on to the rush where possible. Nope.
Oh! Tried to go for the confirm to no avail. That higher platform just meant that man are not going to be able to lead into the confirm. Generally, that is a true combo, but because of the stairs, the elevation design of Temple Grounds, not going to be the case here.
Yam is looking for a punch or a grab or something here to try and rip this away, and it's not going to happen. Oh, wait!
It will happen!
Oh my god, Yam!
Betrays Riffa.
Well, I feel like Riffa is not going to like that one at all.
No, he didn't like that.
Oh no.
She did not like that one bit. I get just, yeah, he's... That's the sad panda news right there.
Oh dear. It's like, there's time, and the hits just kept on coming. Well, Yam will at least take that point. Riffa has rush available pretty much from the start here. If they can get themselves, if they can get Yam down towards a KO range, you probably know that Riffa is not going to sit around on it this time around. In fact, here it comes right now, but Yam is, well, moved past most of it, still took 255, which just goes to show how much damage the dragon can still do.
That dragon just leads in so much damage on that rush. Good pressuring, good setup there, baiting Yam into just facing that wall, goes for a hard whip as a result. While Riffa doesn't have the rush right now, he is holding a massive health lead and is likely going to lead us into another round.
Yam somehow still fighting away, does finally get a hit, but yeah, Riffa not only takes that point, but has already closed the gap on that rush charge, so Yam will start with it, but yeah, Riffa's not too far away themselves. And that was a... Can we call that a bit of a baited start there for Yam?
I can't tell if Riffa would be relieved or terrified to see the roaster come out in exchange, as the Phoenix was doing a very wonderful job of being pressuring, but the roaster is just that much better in a lot of exchanges too, having such a safe and reliable rush, and just a lot better in neutral play. This means that Yam does have a lot more room to work with, and Jar is also still really good at dodging and evading a lot of glove hits.
And so far, Yam being put in a lot of pressure here, just backs into that corner with nowhere to go. Rush is going to come out. Will it shield break? It will, but only causes 10 damage. Oh, that's a self-destruct. That's a hard self-destruct.
That was a self-destruct that literally led Riffa into the corner. Yam, now free to move around, is literally just looking for a good opportunity. Actually, if Yam jumped over that dragon, I think the roaster rush would have connected. But he's going to try to set up there. Not going to follow up with anything there yet. But yeah, Yam is literally just looking for a good rush. And it won't KO, but it would basically allow for Yam just to get what they need to be able to find this set.
Roaster, you just see how skyward the roaster just goes, hitting the top step. Arm weak on the left-hand side, arm down on the left-hand side. But no punish. In fact, now, if Yam can get a good solid rush, it's going to code. It's not going to happen. And nothing's going to hit. It does hit, but it's not going to be enough damage. And that'll be Yam's defeat. Riffa is going to take that point and lead the set by 2 points to 1.
Even with that final really unfortunate exchange, Riffa's still going to be able to carry things out.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to be keeping up with the ooze.
Straight back to Temple Grounds. Riffa is making amends for everything that's going on here. Now, remember, if Riffa wins this point, we are going to see ourselves with a bracket reset, which means we're going to have to do all of that again and probably prepare yourself for more Temple Grounds if that's the case.
No, they'll just start picking Snake Bark.
No, shut up.
Yeah, I'm going to be going in with the... really showing the level, how they feel with Riffa, as we see Iceman bring out the double birds. And he's just going to try to burn him out with a couple of flips.
Burn them out.
Ah.
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 Wow.
Rifa currently holding on to a lead. So, Yam flipping Rifa as much as possible, but to no avail, as it's just birds in the wind, as Rifa is continuing to pummel down Yam's health bar.
Yeah,
and is just looking for one final hit to claim the round.
Yep. The birds are just not finding their mark as much as they'd like to. Oh, finally does so after Rifa decides to go for a grab. And what in the world? How did you allow that to happen?
Let this be a lesson to y'all. Don't give Rifa the double bird. If you're gonna give him any, give him one, but not two.
And Yam in the chat, that was a misclick.
F. It's even worse when you accidentally give somebody the double bird. Oh, nice rush coming off of that, though. 345 damage.
Yeah, they're making up for that with a very solid start. Rifa has rush available and gets the hit with the snapper. Wasn't quite ready enough to go for the juggling of the rush. Yeah, I'm going to have enough space to charge up to the Dragon Arm and try to get this momentum back onto their side and see if they can try and save this set. Little poke in there. Can't allow themselves to go down. They need to keep that arm up as long as possible.
Just the longer that thing is available, the more effective it is, the better it's going to be at pressuring and catching Rifa. And you can see Rifa is just trying everything in his power to snipe it down. But try as he might, that Phoenix stands and burns brightly with fury and knocks him into critical health. That Parasol is going to be a wonderful follow-up. Score brought to 1-1.
Oh boy. Yam knows it's all to play for if they want to stop the juggernaut that is Rifa winning yet another title. To stop this from going into a reset, they have to win this point. Starting slightly on the back foot, commits to the rush, does find the score of 165 at the very least, but certainly not the damage they were probably looking for. And they're going to lose the Dragon Arm immediately. Keeping that center stage, trying to keep Yam pushed back into this corner. Felt like the rush was coming, but instead the grab came out instead, and Rifa got a little bit of a punish there, got poked, but nothing too bad. And once again, puts Yam right back into another corner, and this is going to be big time damage. 275 sends Yam soaring, but starting to finally get away from that corner. Rifa keeping that center stage. I think the Dragon Arm was quite up yet. Yam with rush available. Doesn't quite score with the Phoenix. He needs to look for an opening.
There's one.
And there it is. Big Phoenix is back.
Yam has the opportunity. He needs to start pressuring, especially before Rifa gets that rush ready. Rifa is so good at just completely blindsiding his opponents with rush.
Oh.
Sees the chance. Yam's just going to go for it. 355 damage. We've got KO possibilities coming in here. Rush ready with Rifa. 10 seconds left on the clock. He's coming in with the chase.
Both
players now on that final hit.
Oh!
And it's going to be the Phoenix bringing the score to 2-2.
Yam saving the set big time round. Rifa is not going to force a reset off of this. Alright, my friends. It is matchup number 5. Yam has tied this set up again. Game 5 on the grand final.
If Yam's able to take this, that will be the end of this Scrapstar. Yam will have a championship under their belt. And more importantly, will prevent Rifa from beginning another infinite streak. If Rifa does take this, though, that will be the bracket reset. Everything will be undone. These two will have to start another best of 5, and that one will be for keeps. Rifa is able to take that one too. He begins his infinite win streak once more.
We will see how this goes. Rifa is going to stick with the same loadout, and surprise, surprise, Yam also going to stick with the same loadout. They're both pretty much trading the wins here with these respective setups. So we'll see if anything can change from here. We lose a pillar immediately. As the match begins to intensify, it's Rifa with the slight lead, but that all get cancelled out the second that Phoenix comes back up. The two just dancing away. Riffa in that corner knows they need to get out of it, otherwise Yam is just going to be in a much better position. The Dragon is not going to be able to meet anything thanks to the use of the Power Soul, but finally does get a chill, and the grab
Excellent bait! No connection!
Yeah, no connection unfortunately, but thankfully, no connection either for Riffa. The Power Soul, the Phoenix makes absolutely sure Riffa gets no rush.
And that brings us back to square one. Yam not gonna have that Dragon Arm still, and has to continue fighting back and forth, continuing with this dance, looking to find an opportunity. These pillars are going to provide ample opportunity for this chase to begin in Yam's favor now.
Yep. Those two pillars absolutely being very handy. Oh, Rush is going to come out, and that is going to connect. 330 quickly turns the tide, and Yam suddenly finds themselves in critical position. But gets another hit with the Power Soul. Now this will be interesting. If they can score with a rush here, they would take the lead, and Riffa knows this very, very well. That will mean that will secure it for them, and Yam knows it. So, reset point for Riffa. Yam has got to do it all over again to stop this from happening. Riffa is going to lead with an Ice Dragon immediately. Doesn't connect with the grab though. Yam is immediately going to avoid that. Gets another poke from the bolt and commits to the rush. But it's not going to happen.
Mistimes the response to that Ninjara teleport. The timing there is a little difficult. It's a lot farther than a lot of people anticipate, especially at close range. And because of that, Riffa just able to safely land, connect the punish, and is now just holding on to full control of this field, ready with rush. And Yam just above critical, definitely going to be dropping through in just a few moments.
Alright, that's going to force a shield break. That's 80 damage, and that's Yam in critical. 2 more pokes will likely seal it, and Yam's going to try and come out with a rush, but Riffa is going to avoid the whole thing. Going to get poked by Phoenix in the end, but they'll take that. They still have such a huge health lead here, and Riffa knows it.
Playing patiently, playing defensively, just looking to stall things out as long as possible. He's even got rush advantage right now, so Yam's just in disadvantage in every way possible, and it's probably going to be in a very, very more disadvantaged place as Riffa claims the final stock and brings us all to a bracket reset.
Well, that was the one thing that Yam did not want to see. They're going to have to do this all over again. So...
And he's starting to warm up. Riffa's starting to warm up the things. So I'm just gonna go on the guess. This is gonna cause a lot of distress for Yam. Well, maybe not a lot of genuine distress, but it's going to stutter Yam's tempo, cause them to hesitate a bit, and this is just a huge tempo swing for Riffa, which means that we might be seeing a lot more power going into Riffa from here on out, which means that we might already be seeing this close out as Riffa's.
Well, it's up to Yam to prove everyone wrong.
Well, at this point, I think it would be to prove everyone right, because a lot of people seem to be cheering on, rallying behind the Yam train. They want to have a delicious Yam feast, a celebratory potato harvest. Riffa seeking to close things out, make sure that does not happen. We've got a new Ninjara stepping into the field too, which means that loadout that Yam's been working out with this whole time, it's going to have to be played differently. It's going to have to handle different interactions and setups.
Yep, Riffa's coming in with that popper and lockjaw. Yam is going to come in with a Phoenix and a Roaster. So let's see what this matchup brings, especially on a stage like DNA Lab, where it still does help Yam in a way. They can charge up the arm behind the tubes, much like a Temple Ground. And there's a lot more room to play around with as well. The Roaster is...
Starting things off. Yam did have a slight lead, but immediately Charge Popper, just doing what Popper does, pushes Yam back into a corner, and all of a sudden Riffa now just has all the space in the world, but he also has enough space to dive right into that Phoenix.
Yeah, never forget about the Phoenix. It can and will ruin your day. And Yam, wow, good read on the rush, gets 275, caught Riffa by surprise there, but Riffa's unfazed by that. They've still got a fair amount of momentum of their own. The health is still relatively close, so you feel like a good successful couple pokes here, and Riffa can swing it away.
Riffa being careful, doesn't want to get too caught out by the pillars, as those things, Yam's just doing a good job of hiding behind it. Riffa doesn't want to leave himself open to any punish attempts through them, and with that, he's going to start taking more control, keeping this pressure going. 18 seconds left on the clock. Yam almost ready with the rush, and if it connects, will KO Riffa. Riffa just needs a single hit though, and it's going to be the popper.
As we go on to our second point, Riffa is going to lead with that popper, and it's going to switch out that lockjaw into a shack ramp. So just going to be that little bit more of a nuisance for Yam now. If the wind doesn't hit you, it's going to be a stun. And Yam, just playing hot potato around the tube, comes out and immediately scores with the grab. And notice that they're bringing in the Power Soul now instead of the Phoenix. They just want to just straight up hammer away here. And so far, it's working quite nicely here.
One of the big advantages to the Parasol is that even when Yam doesn't have Dragon Arm now, Parasol's still going to be a great counter to that popper. And we saw how aggravating that thing was for Yam. So this is definitely a very solid just defensive pick. Make sure that they have so much more room to work with, a lot more space. And as we're seeing right now, it's working out exceptionally as Riffa struggling to reach in to get any damage as these two large bodies just battering down all of his attacks.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just looking for one more poke, and they'll take this into the third point of our first match in the reset. But Riffa's not going to go quietly into the night. Both going to pretty much be close to charging up their rush if it keeps on swinging like this. But it finally does hit. And we're going to see ourselves a third point in here.
Riffa gonna be switching over, putting that popper away, looking to utilize that lockjaw to counter these two medium arms. And it's immediately gonna start getting some results here as Yam already taking a lot of damage. And I think a rush from Riffa could actually set up to potentially get a near KO, but he's gonna end up whipping it as Yam finds a counter rush and just takes him away.
Yeah, but it's still not changing the fact that Riffa is just flat out outboxing Yam at this point. Arm weak on the left hand side, which does not help Yam in the slightest. And despite that rooster being big, oh, never mind, it does actually successfully hit. And obviously a dragon armed roaster is just that little bit more deadly. The second it hits, you know it hurts.
It's just a confident 140 damage. It's so fast, it's so big. It's so hard to fight back against. We do have Riffa ready with rush. Yam also ready with one of his own. Whoever gets theirs to connect who takes the set. And that's probably going to be the interaction. Yam trying to force Riffa's hand. Riffa just looking for that sweet point opportunity. I'm expecting it's going to be off of a Parasol attack at some point. Oh, but a nice jump above. And Riffa's not going to be able to dodge out of the way of that one.
Yep. Before Riffa knew what was happening, Yam had committed to the jump, was high enough, was straight in front of them, and Riffa had nowhere to go. And Yam is going to start with a point, and well, we are really going in for change of paces now, aren't we? We are going to Valladolid. And what a way for Yam to come back into that. It's like the reset has happened, but it's not phased Yam. They've came back with quite a bit of a vengeance. They lost that first point, but the second they switched into that roaster Parasol, it worked so much better for them.
It worked super well for them. And you can see, I think they're taking a step back to think about things right now. Trying to maybe come up with a strategy or an approach for what's going to be coming up here.
Riffa is going to go for some big time explosive goodness. I see a Kablamu in there. Is it going to come out? No, probably won't. We're going to see a Toaster and a Siki. Not a Siki, the homie.
And we're going to see Yam coming in with a very different loadout too. We've got hot slaps. We've got a dragon arm parabola. So that parasol is just gone from the field. One of the most defining arms for what was giving Yam those rounds is gone, and it's replaced with this one. We'll have to see how it turns out. While I was proven wrong with that last round, I'm going to remain skeptical with this parabola pick. I'm expecting it's not going to be able to do too much work. But the hot slaps, it's good at catching Ninjaras.
Yes, they are, and also it's forcing the self-destruct from that missile on Riffer's side as well, so it's giving Yam an additional target to aim for. Didn't get all of the rush that they'd have liked to, but still some decent damage. But Riffer now with one of their own ready to go, and you know the missile can just... it can be devastated if it hits.
Griffin closing in the distance, sees that moment, he's not going to be able to make a connect, and ends up getting hot slapped out of the air. That is hundreds of damage that Yam is going to be able to save away from himself. Still holding on to that light health lead.
Both into critical condition, but Riffer knows if they take one more hit, they're going to go down. So they're just looking to try and break through with 20 seconds to go. Zips out of the way of yet another power baller hit. And Yam needs to be very careful that they don't get caught by a homie here. 9 seconds to go. Yam, no!
Gets caught by the homie!
They should have really backed off at that point, especially when you start going downwards. You know that you're forcing Riffer to come towards you and you've got more chance to try and prep, to try and defend against it. But Yam was fully committed to try and get that KO. And the rush is going to come out.
Going to be able to clear this one strong, 385 damage.
Yep, the Kablama is coming out. And Yam's going to stick with the hot slaps and the powerballer, and is going to commit to the rush. Does get the slap, and is going to hit 350. I honestly thought Riffer had hit the floor there, but 350 it is.
But we're going to quickly see two toaster connections, and that's going to take away that dragon arm. Yam finds another chance to get it charged up, though.
Again, you just see that powerballer just slowly creeping forward. You know if it catches Riffer, it's going to be curtains. But having said that, Yam is a point away from going down. This is going to be a lot of damage. Will this cause a shield break? Not quite, and Yam somehow remains in. This is a very curious position Yam finds themselves in, and the toaster is going to connect. And
that's a very curious toaster that finds its mark right on Yam.
Yep, that's one apiece in this set. This is gonna go all the way to the wire, isn't it?
It seems like these two want every chance and opportunity to go as far out as possible, and they keep outwitting each other. It's too many wrinkles in the brain going on in this match. I came here looking for smooth brain plays, but there's just too many wrinkles here. Too many developments, too many changes of strategies, too many smart.
Yeah, and again, you see that Yam just taking a little time back just to figure out where they want to come with this, what they're thinking that Riffer is going to come in with. Riffer is going to come in with the exact same loadout. Min, meanwhile, is going to do a little bit of switcheroos. We got ourselves an Ice Dragon and a Roaster to go up against the Toaster and the Home.
I like this loadout. I like the Pick Buster Beach too. It allows for good corner pressure, but it also still has a little bit of enough space that you're going to kind of be able to find chances for those Dragon Arms, at least within the first few moments.
So far, it's not boding well for Yam. Those Dragon hits are not happening at the moment. Riffer is just avoiding them quite nicely, but finally gets punched into that corner, but quickly gets a hit on Yam and gets out of there immediately.
We do have Yam still holding on to that Dragon Arm, though. Looking to try to just continue to hold on to it for some excellent pressure. Toaster still, while it's not as fast as the Roaster, it still has excellent speed, and any charged firearm is going to be a guaranteed knockdown. Just such an excellent pick from both ends. Both kind of, this is very back and forth in terms of loadout, where both are very good at mid and long range, with the Ice Dragon and Homie respectively being very powerful long-ranged weapons, while the gloves being good at mid to close range.
As we pass down towards 20 seconds, Riffer has an arm weak on the right-hand side. is going to get caught by another quick 1-2. Yam gets the rush up now. With 15 seconds to go, Riffa is going to commit to the rush. Yam will commit to one of their own and scores with it. And that will KO with the dragon. Very patiently done there by Yam. Realized the Riffa was far enough away that they could move, go for the rush, and then it was all down to what Riffa did from there. And Riffa just was not able to block it.
Had a good punish attempt, but just because Yam had that little bit more height, was able to keep that air for just long enough, they were able to safely overwhelm Riffa, and that Dragon Beam led them to a secured win.
And also, that's something that we always like to see. It's sometimes a bit of a rarity that it happens, but the self-destruct into a grab.
Oh, hey, you remember this, right? It's the Phoenix.
Yeah, it's the Phoenix. And what does the Phoenix do on a stage like Buster Beach?
It goes for perfects. We're not going to get one, though, here, as Riffa finally finds a way just to power through. But, yeah, I'm very confidently going to be able to take this one down. And after what was like a literal final hit matters exchange, that's about as close as you're going to get sometimes to a perfect.
So, match number 4 is about to happen, and Yam leads the set by 2 points to 1. So, here's how this is going to go. I think we're going back to Buster Beach by the sounds of it.
We are.
Yes, we are. So, here's what's going to happen. If Yam wins this, the tournament's over. And Yam will make sure that Riffa does not get yet another title and another potential run going. Riffa needs to win this.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Yam was expecting this return to form and is immediately going to set up with the counter pick to try to play around Riffa's loadout. We've got the Parasol and Phoenix combo immediately coming right back in.
We'll see if Yam can do it this time round, or if Riffa is going to find a way around this. It's all to play for here.
Yam just wants to get that Dragon Arm, and once they get it, they want to quickly scare Riffa, keep him in that hot pocket, because that's where that Phoenix is going to work so well.
And here we go. The setup has started. Riffa's already at 75%, and very rapidly going towards that 50% mark as well. But finally get the knockdown with the Dragon, and that armor is going to be gone, both with rush available.
Ice Yam finding another chance to get the knockdown, does have both players now ready with rush. You know Riffa doesn't want to throw his out too cautious or too aggressively, because Yams will very easily power through. You can tell Yam is trying to set up for some kind of opportunity. He's going to be able to make the connection. 335.
We're just looking for a couple more pokes. Meanwhile, Riffa does still have rush available, so they can still turn this around. Arm weak on the left hand side. If they want to force a shield break, they're going to commit to it. Never mind, they score it anyway. 350 sends them to crit. So, Yam with a very, very tiny health lead here as we approach the 10-second mark.
Oh god, these Parasols so close to his face, but Riffa manages to keep himself cool and calm under pressure. Dodges out of the way of them, and that Ice Dragon going to be able to secure a point, brings it to Riffa's advantage.
It does. Yam immediately backs right into that corner to try and charge up their Dragon Arm. Has switched away the Phoenix and brings in the Rooster. Riffa comes in with a slap. And whilst it's
doing some good scares, and some very good scares.
Yeah, finally picks Yam out of the air, and it's going to send Yam right back into that corner. Both with rush available. Yam no longer with Dragon Arm. Needs to find a way of charging it back up again. Those slaps are always dangerous, and it's just every now and then you just see Yam just rocking back, and all it takes is a quick little poke from either the bolts or the slaps, and it just sends Yam reeling downwards.
Riffa's taking a few steps too far back, finally gives Yam another chance to get that Dragon Arm. Riffa's still holding on to a pretty healthy lead right now, and is just looking to keep this tempo working in his favor.
Yep, all they're looking for is one rush confirm, and they will KO Yam easily. Yam just trying to find a way back into this to make sure that Riffa does not take this to match 5, not again.
Riffa doing an excellent job of utilizing those Ninjara shields. It works very different. a lot of people could probably gather at this point, but it works very differently from a lot of standard shields. What you'll see whenever Yam blocks is it just bounces off. But whenever Ninjara gets a successful shield, he actually warps over to the left or right depending on the positioning of where the attack lands.
And that's going to be Riffa's point.
It allows him to be able to create these windows that a lot of other characters can't make and get those kinds of punishes, and it leaves him a lot more safer. But if you know what you're doing, it's a lot easier to punish too. That said, Riffa able to utilize it effectively enough to keep himself in this game. Score now, 2-2. We are on championship match. This is the final one. Set. This is the finale. The only way for this to not have a result is if we get 4 double KOs in a row.
Don't say that. Do not say that. I don't think my heart would be able to take this. So, this is for all the marbles. Final match.
After that, the game immediately calls a tie, and we have to start again.
Oh my god, don't do that to us. So, Riffa coming in with the slaps and the tri-blast. Yam gets the Dragon Arm up for the Phoenix and comes back in with that Parasol. It's on Viadols. This is the final match of the tournament. Who is going to win this? Riffa has first blood on their hands. They're taken all the way, almost down to 75%. Yam forcing Ninjara into that corner, but Riffa's going to work their way back out. Doesn't get the knockdown though.
But a little bit of damage can go a long way, especially when you have all the time in the world to work with.
Well, both arms weak, and Riffa knows that this will be a shield break. That is going to be 165. Takes the Dragon Arm away from Yam and keeps one side weak as well, and Yam will commit and does score much higher as well, 335. And you notice that Ninjara couldn't really get out of there, just boxed into that corner, and Yam with another successful hit, that big bird being very scary as always. Yam at 50%, Riffa almost in critical, now is in critical. Yam throwing everything into this. Oh, gonna get caught with that. 25 seconds to go. Riffa almost has that rush ready to go, but needs to be careful. Another poke, and they're gonna go down. And Yam is gonna start with the lead, but quickly turns it around. Now, Riffa with rush. Ram is in critical, a KO.
There it is. That's not gonna be it.
And the Phoenix hits.
Breaking out from the corner.
Yam needs to not get hit here. Goes for the rush. Knows that they get hit. No!
Too cautious to make a play, and Riffa gonna jump on that as his Mander reaches out and slaps Yam out of the sky.
This is championship point for Riffa, and Yam has got it all to do now to turn this around. Does connect with a solid Parasol hit and needs to keep that momentum going. They can't allow Riffa to continue to do comebacks like that. Ice Dragon is going to be blocked away, but the blast does punch through. And it's going to connect again, that little explosion. And Riffa's going to commit.
Sees the moment, he's going to go for the rush. Takes it excellently. 350 damage. Yam now just barely away from critical health. Cannot take too much more. And Riffa just looking to try to close things out. That rush isn't even out yet for Yam. Still needs a couple more punches. I'm finally going to see on the field when Yam is only 1 to 2 hits away from falling at the hands of Riffa.
Yep, Dragon is just not going to quite scrape by. Yam knows they cannot afford to get hit by anything now. Riffa with grab, with rush ready to go. Yam if gets hit by anything here, and it's pretty much going to be over with. Just coming up to 30 seconds to go. Bolt is going to be blocked, Dragon is going to be blocked, but Yam is running out of time, big time. One more poke will do it, and there it is. And that was just unfortunate for Yam. The end of that first point pretty much sealed their fate. And Riffa succeeds with the reset and wins yet another Scrapstar Series.
Riffa just gonna... He didn't show up last time, so technically we can't consider that a loss. So I guess technically speaking, Riffa gets to continue his streak. But this was probably the closest we've seen in a very, very long time that anybody's been able to contend Riffa even barely. and just a couple of different plays, I could see this being a very different story. This could have definitely been Yams with just the right calls, the right setups. If they didn't jump in the air and leave themselves open like that, Rifa might not have been able to get the Mander to reach in like as he did. And this could have been a very different story.
It very much could have been, but as a result, it is going to be Rifa who walks away with another Scrapstar Series under their belt. Commiserations to Yam, so close, but the reset had to happen. It was a long grand final, 10 matches all the way through. But commiserations to Yam, they will finish in second, a very solid fight in second. And obviously shout out to Iceman, who loses the title and finishes in third place.